So
Uh,
I've actually started off the past couple podcasts with asking this question, and I'm not going to
mhm.
ask it over and over again every single time, but I am actually curious. If for $500 you could go anywhere you want in the world for 2 weeks, and you're not limited to one location, you could go to multiple spots. Would you accept that offer, and where would you go, and what would you do?
So if somebody paid me $500 or I
No, no. The
paid
whole
$500?
vacation, the whole vacation costs $500.
Oh, well, I mean, that's, see, I never really think about that. If anything, it'll be a cruise that goes to multiple places, you know,
Yeah.
because there's for $500, going to a cruise that goes to multiple places is a
No,
bit
no, no,
more of an
no.
experience.
The whole vacation costs $500. It does like
Well, that's what I'm saying.
you don't have to
The
figure out how
whole,
to make it work.
right, the whole
Yeah.
vacation. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if for $500, the whole vacation, I choose a cruise that goes to like the islands or a cruise, not Alaska like Mohan did. Fuck that. That would be super cold.
Yeah, it's a
But
vacation, right?
right,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I would do either Europe. I don't know. I really, but the specifics like that, I wouldn't know. Mm, I'd probably just go back to my island in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
It's
Like for a
home, and
cruise? Or you mean you
for a
just live
cruise,
there?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, I've done both. I've done both. Cruise. I fly to Puerto Rico and then get on. I think it was Carnival, and then just for a whole week. And for me, it was free. I was a kid, so even better. So not even $500. That was free. But
Well,
uh,
the reason I asked that, and I think you were in the party yesterday when we were talking about it, but
perhaps I don't.
yeah, we were just talking about we're basically planning on doing a vacation at the end of 2023 or very early 2024.
Mm,
And for $500 a month at the end of the year, you'd have 6 grand if you did that for all of 2023, which is overkill for most people. You could probably swing 3 grand and make it
yeah.
work. But I like having overkill, and we were talking about it. My suggestion is Amsterdam. Um, then Czech said that he's interested, so he might come with us. And then I thought after a few nights in Amsterdam, we go to like some of the smoke shops and get high as fuck, and just talk like we're doing here, but stoned in a coffee shop in Amsterdam. Um,
Right.
or, all the other things that Amsterdam, there's so much shit to do. Um, and then like for a few days, stay there, then maybe go spend 5 or 6 days in Germany and let Czech show us, um,
Mm,
because he lives there. And there's nothing like seeing the country from somebody that lives there,
right.
Um, and then finish it off in the UK, meet up with Max, meet up with Green. Green's probably going to want to do Coke.
Yeah, I mean, all of you do like almost all of you do some sort of drugs. Like I guess me and Mohan are the clean ones. I guess Gecko, he's he's
Well, he's 15.
yeah.
Yeah.
But at 15, I don't know about you, but at 15, me and my friends would do shit that you wouldn't. You'd be like, wait, what the fuck? Why are you doing that at 15?
Well, I'm
I
okay
mean,
with pot.
it's the
Like,
sort of shit that we're told not to do, but we still do.
yeah,
But
because you don't truly realize the danger until you've felt that danger.
yeah, I mean,
I
you're
mean,
right.
if you're a dumb kid like me and you just do dumb shit because you think that you're not like, there's no way I could die. Like, obviously, I'm going to live forever. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
what do you think the
Man.
concept of like mortality comes into play in a person? Like, what age do you think they start to realize that they're going to die?
Uh, to realize that they're gonna die, I'd
Not conceptually
say,
understand, but like actually, like genuinely get it. Like, yo, I'm going to die.
Oh, usually after you're like, I'd say after you're hitting your 20s, you're starting young, you're hanging out and stuff. I mean, it just depends really on the person, but like I'd say from 20s to 30s, it's when
I
you
think
start
so.
maturing. Yeah, where you start maturing, where you're like, oh fuck,
Because
this is
it
gonna
really didn't
happen.
hit me till like mid 20s. It's really our age group, I think, is where it starts to hit.
Yeah, because you're not in your teens anymore, and all the you start. I think you know you stop understanding what the younger generations are saying, you know, and it's like, shit, I'm not
Yeah.
that old. I'm 26, and these kids are saying some shit that I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's just that I think as we age, we no longer feel as young as we used to be, even though we're still young at our 20s. And it's just psychological, and that's I guess that helps us mature and realize, hey, you know, I'm not as young, and one day I'm gonna die, I'm gonna get old, and that's, you know, I'm gonna get old, die. I guess that's good. It's useful too, especially, you know, when if it helps you actually, if it helps you grow as a person, you know, like, but most people don't. So
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still working through it myself. So just getting to that point, I guess, of acceptance, how do you find peace with death? Like you're religious, so that's that's what you would do.
right, right,
That's how
right.
you
So
get it.
that's what I do. But
What
yeah,
would you recommend for a non-Christian? Someone how can they find peace with their mortality?
well, see, I guess for a non-religious person, it would be, well, I can't say logic based because even as a Christian, there's still logic to it. And it sounds like, well, wouldn't it be faith? Well, yeah, true. But it's still logical for you to think, well, if I die, I go with God, therefore I shouldn't. The logic there would be, that's why I'm not afraid
Yeah.
of death. So for somebody who doesn't believe in an afterlife, or at least a, you know, at least just go with the, you know, atheist people seem to not atheists from people, well, I guess atheists like science, not all of them, but the science. So I guess, you know, you could conceptualize or rationalize death as part of life, and you know, one day it'll happen to you, and you don't know when or how, but you know, it is inevitable. So instead of worrying about it and living fearful of it, you should just live life. So I'd say, in short, to cut it, you know, cut it short, I'd say let death catch you while you're living, you know. And with that, what I'm trying to say with that is, like, you know, live your life. You're going to die anyways. So whether you're being super healthy and like living a safe, quote unquote, life, it's also, you're basically not living your full potential. As in, maybe there's things you want to do that you don't do because you're fearful of death, or some, you know, some stuff. Not everybody is fearful of death like that, because I think people think they're not going to die. Even when you conceptualize it or rationalize it, you still, in your day to day, think you're not going to be
Yeah.
dying, you know.
Yeah, you don't really
You don't
like
think about it.
and
So
even when you do realize it, I don't know about you, but for me it seems to just be in moments. Like it's not constant. It's not like I fully realize, but like
mhm.
there'll be times where I do.
Right, right. So, and that's the thing. So it's like, instead of like getting frustrated, or like, I guess taking a net, well, not like frustrating. It's just more like taking a negative attitude towards death. Might as well
Yeah.
just be grateful. Like, hey, you know, I've done this, this, and this, and I'm still good. I'm still alive, and I'm able to do these other things and healthy. So it's just, you know, it, it's just rationalizing things. So either way, whether you're religious or not, you could still find peace
Yeah.
in death.
Well, and
Although obviously,
CT Fletcher, I don't remember if it was CT Fletcher or Mike Tyson, but one of them said something I thought was really close or really interesting. And that's that um they think, because I don't remember which one of them thinks that death has a bad rap because they came close to it. And personally, I've never actually had a real life and death. I mean, I had an asthma attack as a kid, but I don't think that really counts. Just like I've never had one where I was old enough to realize what was going on, you know?
yeah, me same with me.
Yeah. So it's hard to like, I don't, it's almost like I kind of want to play around in that area just to get a better understanding of it. I know that sounds weird and dumb, but um,
You did say you're dumb kids.
yeah, I was. Yeah. GED.
GD.
Good enough. Good enough diploma.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I was thinking earlier today. Uh, I have this theory. Okay, it's not even a theory. It's just like a random. It's thought vomit. That's what it is. It's thought vomit. It's like a bunch of random fucking thoughts that are kind of in the same area. Anyways, so my idea or my thought is that maybe religion is an interpretation of what is. So maybe God's the universe, you know, like one of my problems, one of them, and then Ian's as well, Moan. He you know, who creates a whole species just to worship them? And I know we've talked about this, but
Oh, by a
what
lot.
if he's the universe? You know, what if he's not a he necessarily? What if he's everything? It's the universe, and when you die, you merge into everything, and you're kind of worshiping the universe in a sense. And so maybe that's the Christian interpretation of that reality. And so what I was thinking was, there's no way an atheist, because the Christians, the religious people are onto something with their interpretations because they're paying attention to something that atheists aren't. You know, they're paying attention to the unseen world, the spiritual world, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought maybe only a religious person could give that answer to someone that's not religious, because they would be able to solve that problem through the same framework that they do in their Christian religion, but not Christian, if that makes sense. I don't know if that
Right.
sounds bananas, but
Uh, so I mean a bit. It's rel like in relation. It sounds bananas because I could tell you,
yeah.
yeah, there's a being, there's a an entity up in the heavens, and we must worship it or we will perish. And
Yeah.
that sounds banana to some people. So I guess in like relatively, yes, it all sounds bananas to somebody else, you know?
But what do you
Because
think?
like, what do I think about
What do you think? Do
religion
you
being a
think about my idea that only a religious person can give an answer to a non-religious person about how to find peace with their mortality?
uh well, no, I'd say no. A person that's not religious could also teach or tell somebody else that's not religious to find peace and immortality. I guess they could give advice on how they've done it, and maybe it'll help them, you
Yeah.
know? Because it's like to be the good teacher, a good teacher is experience. So either you experience it for yourself, or you have somebody who's experienced it teach you. So that applies in all manners of
Yeah.
learning. So
But now how do you think it's even possible for a non-Christian to find peace with their mortality? Because isn't
yeah,
from well, I mean,
yeah,
from your perspective, wouldn't Christianity be
yes.
the only answer to that?
Oh, wait, do you mean peace as in like after death you're at peace or
No, well, like while you're living here on Earth, finding
oh
peace with
yeah,
the fact you're gonna die.
yeah, anybody who's not a Christian, you don't have to be a Christian for that. Like,
Yeah. Well, I know
no,
one
yeah.
time in Amsterdam. I guess this is it's kind of silly, but I guess this is probably the closest I came to death was in Amsterdam. You remember the whole me telling you about the shroom trip and the Airbnb, and then I smacked my head on the damn urinal and all that shit.
You
No?
said so many things, man.
Okay.
It
Well,
sounds familiar
basically,
though.
I went to Amsterdam for the sole purpose of tripping my balls off on shrooms. Now, that was pretty much my main reason for going. As soon as I get there, a bunch of COVID rules hit the pipeline, and then all of a sudden, the bars are now closed. Nothing is available except for takeout. And so I'm like, fuck, man. Well, I'm here in Amsterdam for the next 3 days before I go see Czech. What am I going to do now? So I just went and rented a bike and I rode 2 hours to this ancient Spaniard uh, Dutch battleground or something.
All right.
They had a bunch of ancient windmills, and I bought some souvenirs for like my parents and then Czech's parents because it was like Christmas time and stuff, you know. And
Right.
and then I was on the internet looking at all the different strains they have of shrooms, you know, just kind of salivating at the mouth over what I won't have. And then
Yeah.
they said on their website that you can order it and you can come pick it up like it's a takeout, even though the COVID rules are in place. As long as it's takeout, it's okay. So
Right.
so I messaged them on WhatsApp. I'm like, hey, give me a pack of them high Hawaiians because the high Hawaiians were the most expensive. No, sorry, not the most expensive. The strongest one that they had.
Right.
They would only recommend it for experienced trippers. But my logic was that at the time I was thinking I'm probably never going to come to Amsterdam again, so I might as well just you know get the full damn ride because who knows when I'll because like yeah you know maybe you can find someone to sell you shrooms in the States, but it's a shady drug dealer. Is it really shrooms? Is it laced with some shit? Amsterdam, you know, because you're
Right.
going into a legitimate business and purchasing a product, you know, it
Right.
goes under supervision. Yeah. So, anyways, I bought this pack. I went to Vondel Park, which is like a famous park in Amsterdam, and
Right.
I figured it was like the best spot to trip. And it was only one pack. I had read that 5 grams of mushrooms is like the hero's dose. Like you take that, you're fucking going to Mars, bro.
Right.
So, um, I was only taking truffles because that's the only thing that's legal in Amsterdam. The truffles and the spores are legal, but not the actual mushrooms. But it still has psilocybin in it, so I still got fucked up. He said
Right.
that approximately 10 grams of mushrooms, or sorry, 10 grams of truffles equals 1 gram of mushrooms. So that's how much I would have to eat to get the same amount of fucked upness. Uh,
Right.
so I bought this pack, went to Vondel Park, started eating it, and then I was sitting there, I was thinking, you know what, man? Fuck it, dude. I'm gonna get another one, bro. I want that hero's journey, bro. That fucking 5 gram trip. So I ate 44 grams of truffles on my bike on the way back to the Airbnb because I figured if I'm gonna eat this much, I don't need to be in a public setting. And so I went to my Airbnb, which it's weird. It's kind so in Europe they have these things called hostels, which is like a big room with a bunch of bunks, and then you can sleep there for super cheap, like $10 or something. You know, that's
Right.
like if you just went out and got fucked up and you don't want to buy a hotel, you just want to get somewhere cheap to sleep for the night.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a hybrid between that. Like you got your own room, but it was like the size of a closet. You had a comfortable bed, and then 3 feet above the bed is a ceiling where the next person sleeping in the other room. So
All right.
I get really nauseous. Um, but I'm not really worried about that because that was to be expected. You tend to get nauseous about 20 minutes after eating it. And I started getting nauseous. That sucked. And I also fasted because you're supposed to fast for about 6 hours prior. Well, I
Hmm.
hadn't ate since the day before. I had ridden my bike all the way to this other place, found out about it. So 4 hours of bike riding, no food in my stomach. It's lunchtime, and that's when I finally eat the mushrooms. So it's been about 16 hours, no eating. I eat all these mushroom or truffles, and I don't know, man. I can't explain to you what happened in my head for the next 3 hours. But I was doing backflips off the ceiling. I was rolling around in my bed sheets. I was laughing hysterically at what a joke I am, but not in a putting me down kind of way. It was kind of like, you little knucklehead, you're so dumb. You know, it's like one of those kind of things. And
Right.
um, since I do think about mortality a lot, at least recently, that's what came up a lot in the trip was like, hey, dummy, death ain't that bad. You see, this is what death is. And I just killed you. This is what it's like. It's not that bad. That's what it didn't say that like verbally, but that was like the message kind of being communicated through the psilocybin, right? So,
Right.
this whole time I have to piss because like I hadn't ate, but I drank a ton of water. I'd been biking.
Right.
Um, and so I had to pee, but man, there was way too much going on for those 3 hours for me to figure out how the fuck I was going to get to the bathroom. And it's a hostel, so you share a bathroom. So
Ah,
I didn't want to be around people until most of the trip was over and I was like kind of back to being normal again. But I had
right.
to go, man, and it was calming down. I thought, okay, I think it's calmed down enough to where I could go be around people and not look like a weirdo. So went to the bathroom. I throw open the door. First thing I see is this guy in front of a urinal taking a piss. Just being normal, just taking a piss. Nothing weird about it. But to me at the time, because I was tripping, this man knew that I was tripping. He had come here specifically at this time because he knew that I would be here at this time, and he's trying to fuck with me, right? Like that's what's going on in my paranoid,
R-
tripped out,
Right.
psilocybin fucked up brain, right? But I'm still kind of sober enough to realize that I'm tripping. I'm like, bro, you're tripping. Just take a fucking piss and go back to your room, man. Like, chill. So
Right.
I went up to the urinal. I keep kind of like eyeballing him just because like he's still standing there and I just get weird vibes from him. And I pulled it out. I started to push. And then I wake up. There's blood everywhere. There's that same guy is in my face now with his hand and he's like, hey man, are you okay? You okay, man? What happened, bro? And I'm like, and I'm so confused and lost, like, because not only am I tripping, but I also just sustained a head injury. And I'm like, I don't know who he is. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what the hell happened. And that's pretty typical when you knock yourself out. Uh,
Right.
things started to come back to me though. And he was a boss, man. Like that guy was on point. Because he immediately was like, hey, bro, you want some water or something, man? And I'm like bleeding down my face. And I'm like, honestly, a water sounds like the perfect thing for me right now. I just want some water, man. So I walked with him to the front, and then I realized my dick was still out. And so, so I
Yeah.
put that thing away. The lady, she's up there freaking the hell out. And I'm also trying to navigate this whole situation because I'm in the military. And the last thing I need is for there to be some kind of report, whether it's medical or police or anything, that I don't want to go to the hospital and then be like, yeah, he was under the influence of psilocybin and fucking freaked out and smacked his head in the urinal, right? Like, because if I do
Right.
that, I'm getting kicked out of the army, and it's not going to be in a nice way, you know.
Yeah. It's
Um,
dishonorable discharge. So
well, I don't. It wouldn't be dishonorable. Is more for like rapists and shit like that.
really, I did it change because the last I thought is like if you were caught drunk on duty, you still get dishonorably discharged.
Oh no. I mean,
They,
you'd be punished, but I don't even think you'd be discharged for that.
so
You might get an
maybe it
Article
either.
15, and get reduced in rank, but you know.
Then I don't know.
But anyways, so like she keeps trying to call me an ambulance and shit, and I'm like, honestly, I just really just want to go lay down and just chill out for a little bit. And the guy was like, sorry, bro, but absolutely not. Like you
Yeah,
just
you can't
sustained a
do
head
that.
injury. Yeah. And I was
It's
like, fuck, he's right. And so I just went outside and I called my buddy who's a sergeant, but me and him engage in similar activities. And like,
right.
I knew I could trust him to kind of just give me some solid advice. And he's like, yeah, bro, just look, go to a fucking private clinic, man. They're not gonna give a shit. You're paying them. They're even if they took a record of anything, it's gonna be private. So like just go get seen, get fixed up. Don't eat so many fucking mushrooms, you idiot. I'm like, all right.
Right.
And I went 5 stitches, bro. and I had to take him out myself at Check's house. Did it with a bath in his bathroom with a nail clipper. But yeah, I told his parents I had gotten into a bike collision. That's also what I told my parents. Uh, hope they don't watch
Yeah.
this. But no, what my whole I just wanted to go through the whole story, but my whole point in that was that when I hit my head, there was nothing. Like, I mean, it was like I was there. It didn't hurt. Nothing hurt about knocking myself out on that fucking porcelain urinal. I was just there and then I wasn't. And then I came back. But like,
Right.
if that's death, if it's just you and then not you, like
Right.
that isn't too bad, you know?
That's not actually that would be the best case scenario. Uh,
Yeah.
that would be best case scenario for somebody who doesn't believe in God or a God or heaven, because it's like
Unless
if
it's
you're
true,
there,
then they're fucked.
exactly. So that's like that would be best case scenario if you're there and then you're not, and then that's it, because you're avoiding, at least for a Christian, you're avoiding judgment, you're avoiding wrath, and then the punishment, which is forever and ever. So so like in that scenario, that is the best case that you could get, where it's you're alive and then you're not, and that's it. Um, but that's also the thing is like, how can you prove that there is nothing after death? How are
Can't.
you sure? Because exactly. Um, and I guess it would go both ways. It's like, how can you prove there's a heaven after death? And it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
and then there's accounts of people dying and coming back and seeing heaven and all that, but like some of them are fake. Just I'll tell you right there, it's like some of them
Well, of course, some people are just going to want to make money, man.
fake
And
it and make money and all of that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, and who's gonna tell you, yeah, I died and nothing happened and then I came back to life?
My buddy actually,
But who's gonna
in
try and make
Morocco
money out
though,
of it?
he heat catted so bad that like when he was on the ground, he actually started to inhale sand. Not like he
Ooh,
flipped over and was like, but like
no.
the sand with the wind and everything, it got into his lungs, and he actually had to go to the hospital. And he, according to him, died for 5 minutes on the table. And he
Yeah, that
said
seems
that
to be the limit for everybody that comes back.
yeah, and he said that this is why I think he might be full of shit because like he said when he came back he was pissed. He was like, "It's like fuck, man! Like I was happy while I was dead." I was like, "You're so full of shit, man. You weren't that much of a tough guy that right after coming back from death, you were just like, you guys fucking you saved me." Like, just shut the fuck up, dude. You're so full of
Yeah, I
shit.
mean, it sounds like bullshit, but I do have a friend
Yeah,
also that died for five, it was 5 minutes, and he said he saw nothing, and then that's it.
but you could also argue that that's because he wasn't truly dead. Like he hadn't truly passed over yet. You know.
Perhaps. I mean, see, and that's also actually that's um, the logical way of being a Christian or like a religious. I'm not gonna nail it down, but for me, being a Christian is also like, oh, there's logic in that. Like, if I am wrong, nothing happens. If you're wrong, oh man, like so because it's like if I'm right and and there is a hell and there's a heaven, me, I'm putting my trust in what Jesus did as a Christian. I'm putting my trust in his sinless life and his death on the cross, paying for my sins with his blood. I know you're a Christian, so you know these things, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trusting that. If anybody asks me or anything, I say, yeah, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Like, there's nothing I could do to go to heaven, as He did it all
Yeah.
for me. Um, but so how should I explain this? Because it's like, so that's the logic there. Kind of lost my train of thought. But
Oh, well, we were talking about like how you would explain to other people how you
uh,
cope with mortality. as a Christian.
Right. So
Yeah.
so I'd say it's that. And so that's the logic for me, is like, but again, if you could somehow manage to like, I guess you could convince yourself to not worry about it, because the thing is, a logical way of saying it is, hello there, that's my wife.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. So it's just rationalizing it as like, as this is inevitable and there's nothing I could do to stop it. So worrying about it is not going to help either. So might as well just live my life as best as I can and enjoy, and when
Well,
I
it's
die, I
almost
die.
like what Jesus said, ironically,
Yeah.
that what has your worry ever gotten you? You
If
know,
you could,
like, and Jocko Willink, that retired SEAL team commander that has a podcast, he talks about it a lot. Not that necessarily in that way, but he'll talk about soldiers, in Iraq having to do patrols, and then IED threats. It's like there's certain things you can do to mitigate that threat, but then at a certain point, there's really not much you can do, and like you just gotta suck it up, Buttercup, and drive on. And like
yeah,
the best thing you could do is just stop thinking about it, because like there's not a damn thing you could do about it. But I
yeah,
also feel like that's in a way. So IEDs, I get it. What Jesus said, I get it. But it seems like we're almost pushing the issue to the side because we can't find an answer, rather than continuing to dig for one.
right. So that's also the thing. It's like, well, as a Christian, it's like, my answer is, there is a heaven, there is a God. Um, as I guess, in the same way as you can't prove that, you know, that there is no, because you could see, the thing is, like, it's all in the perception of somebody. Is like, you could tell me, prove there's a God, and I could just answer the same way. Well, prove to me that there isn't a God. You
Yeah,
know,
but if you're the one making, so okay, what the counter argument that a lot of people would make to that would be that if you're the one making the claim, the burden of proof is on you.
right? Correct.
Yeah.
So again, but that's the thing, is that you tell me there is no God. Okay, so if you claim it,
So then
prove
I'm
it.
the one making the claim. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it would either fall, and it's just fall. It falls on both sides. It's like, how can I convince you that my evidence, they'll prove that I choose, like, the evidence for me believing, the reasons for me believing that God is real. How can
Yeah.
I how can I portray that to you in a way that's convincing enough that you say yes, or at the very least, you'd say, I see how you see that, and that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, I have some of my own empirical data, because I was a
Right.
Christian, and it wasn't just something my parents forced me to do. I did actually believe in it very deeply for a period of time.
Right.
And, you know, well, it's not that I'm an atheist. I think there's something, because I have
Uh,
accounts from, so like I have my own personal
sounds like Gnostic as
experiences.
Gnostic. Agnostic.
Agnostic, yeah.
Yeah.
But then I have another person in my family I'm very close to. I don't want to say their name, but
Don't dox them,
um,
man.
but someone that would never lie to me, that you just know would never lie to you, somehow sees things, like spirits and shit, like weird shit. And then I have my own experiences where, like, um, while at a church in a praise and worship session, like I don't know if you've been to those kinds where, everyone has their hands in the air and everything. I've
Oh, you were the were you with the charismatics?
well, I've been all over. Like my parents were split, so my dad was very Baptist. My mom was
Okay.
very she started Baptist and then ended up more Pentecostal, and now
Pentecostal, yeah,
yeah.
charismatic Pentecostal. So yeah, I grew up actually in Pentecostal. I don't I can't say I hate them, but I do hate them. The thing, the
Oh,
oh man, if I tell you how far the rabbit hole goes, at least in my mind, of course, I could tell you many things, but it's also how can I convince you? You know, how can I tell you? So
well, and here's
again,
the thing, because I have my own data, right? Like when I was in that praise and worship session, I felt that energy, what you would call God's presence, and I felt this amazing feeling. But
right.
was that God, or was that unity with everyone else around me, or is this something my brain made up because I'm filling my, I don't know, cultural tribal
See,
needs by being here with this community of people, and we're all unified worshiping this thing together? Like, is it that? And then I know that that person didn't lie to me, but it's so hard to believe what they're saying. And then when I have my own data, it's like, well, there's got to be something going on there. I don't know what, but maybe not Christian, but something,
okay,
or
so
maybe Christian. I don't know, but
all right, so well, let's say okay, so let's go over that, and then I'll tell you about uh actually question because I know it's gonna intertwine, but there's two different topics. Do you think Jesus was real?
yeah, I've never not believed that because I haven't looked into it. But isn't it pretty clearly recorded that he did exist?
Right.
Yeah,
He did exist. Okay.
yeah,
So at the very least that, All
yeah.
right. So okay, that's that we'll go back to that later.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so that's one. So you were telling me that you have your own data. Like tell me exactly like somewhat of
Well, by
what
data,
experience
I mean,
experience
I guess I'm being generous with that term. I was talking about like experiences like that, and then
experiences, yeah, that's right.
um, I guess several of those types of things, like where you feel that energy, or you're,
Okay, yeah. So
yeah,
I've actually felt that too, but here is the thing. So there's a spirituality to all of us.
yeah,
In the Christian sense, we're all born with a body, a soul, and a spirit. Although due to sin, our spirit is dead. But you still have two ethereal beings within ourselves. We're created in the image of God. So God, depending on how you believe it, but the truth is, or what do you call the Trinity? It's called the
hmm,
Godhead.
yeah.
It's
We
called.
we
It's
call it the
really,
Trinity.
yeah. I know. I don't know why it's called the Godhead. But again, anyways, it's just people interpreting stuff, putting
Yeah.
doing what. Anyways, so God being the soul, God being the Father is the soul, Jesus being the body, and the Holy Spirit, well, the Spirit. So us being created in His image, we too have those component to us, but because of sin, the Spirit is dead. So and the Bible talks about when we ask Jesus, when we are saved, then our spirit is quickened, as meaning revived. It's back alive, and we're like a
Well,
new creature in
biblically, I don't
Him.
believe that's accurate. I don't think we have a spirit of death inside of us.
No, 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 no. Not of death. Our spirit is dead in a
Oh,
sense. Our spirit is dead, not a spirit of death. No, no, no. Our spirit is dead, as in like it's it's there, but it's just not active. And its function is actually to communicate with God, uttering things that cannot be uttered, as in like
mm,
it's talking for us,
yeah, I know.
because
That's
as
that
humans,
Pentecostal coming out of you. Speaking in tongues.
no, 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 oh my goodness. Okay, so
Well, that's where
I
I thought you were
actually
going with that.
So yes, actually, see, that's funny because that's a misinterpret. I think it's a misinterpretation. Speaking things that cannot be uttered. If they can be uttered, they can be said, as in like spoken at all, not
Mm.
gibberish, meaning spoken. It cannot be uttered, as in it can't come out
So
of your mouth.
I know it's not, but it's almost like a meditative exercise, right? Like where you're sitting there and you're thinking basically in prayer.
Right, but the thing is, the spirit is doing it without you knowing. Why? Because we sin. We're knuckleheads. Even as Christians, we still sin. you
Yeah.
know so So that's one thing. Going a bit on a tangent is like I don't, at least for the Pentecostals or some other stuff, I don't believe that's. I really don't believe that's God. And we could come back to that later because it's like it's just
You think they're worshiping something else?
I've heard like okay, so quick story with you know what the Virgen of Guadalupe is?
I've heard the song, I think, right? No, I'm fucking that up. No, I don't know who it is.
Nah, so
I
the
thought I was
Virgen
thinking
of
Viva
Guadalupe,
la Boca or whatever it is.
Viva la
Like
Vida
Viva.
Loca.
Yeah,
That,
that.
no, no, no. So okay, the
Sorry.
Virgen of Guadalupe is it's a Catholic saint. Well, she's a Virgin of Guadalupe. So it's a version of the Mother of God. Catholics have many versions of the Mother of God. So they got Guadalupe, they got
Who?
they call her Santa Maria. So
Pentecostals?
no, 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 Catholics,
Oh,
Catholics,
sorry,
not
sorry, Catholics. Okay, yeah.
so so they so they have that one. There's many others, like depending in Puerto Rico, there's another one. I
I
can't
saw a lot
remember
of
the name.
Catholic churches
The-
in Italy.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and there's like different saints and different. So this Virgin Mary, so the account starts the of Guadalupe as a translation is called it's Guatzaltupe is because this native in Mexico was trailing around um the place where the basilica. If you Google it, you could Google the Basilica of Basilica de Guadalupe. You can Google it. It's a real place. So how it went is that this native recently converted to Catholic, in Mexico, was going around the mountains, and an apparition of the Virgin Mary appeared to him and spoke to him in his native tongue. And what it said is that, I mean, she said more stuff, but what it said is that instructed him to tell one of the higher ups in the Catholic Church and build a temple on top of the old ruins of an old Maya. I think it wasn't Mayan. It was a old pagan temple
Mm,
that they had. Well, not pagan, but they were well. They would be considered pagan because if it's not Christian, it's pagan.
yeah,
To us, right?
yeah,
So, so when you think about it, it's like why would an entity off like ask to build for a temple to be built on top of a pagan one? Also, how it's like why is the Virgin Mary being why is she being worshipped instead of God? So there's contradictions there with the Ten Commandments. Doesn't like, well, wouldn't you worship somebody else? So my thinking is maybe that's not Virgin Mary, because what does Jesus's mother have anything to do with? She was just his mother, just chosen by God. Why would that be a thing? So it's like there is the theory of maybe an old God posing as a more recent, more on a more recent, more important figure in people's minds, posing as that, take over, and then still get the worship, just named himself differently. So
yeah.
it's like same thing with Pentecostals. Like, hold on.
So when you research La Virgen de Guadalupe, actually there is a page that says it's not like a mystery that it's an old god. It's known that it's an old god.
So it's known that is
Bro,
an old god.
Yeah, but people
she's
don't
our
really
Jamie.
get more than
You know
like
Joe
this.
Rogan, how he has Jamie that like looks stuff up.
That's it. Yeah. So it's they know, they just don't care. I heard you mention that.
Yeah, I've mentioned that because I researched it, and there was a website that said that is why they named it Guadalupe, because it's the same name that translates from an old god.
Wow. So they know, and still they just
It's considered.
And they're still
It's just like
wow. So that's even more
some
crazy.
attributes of the Virgen de Guadalupe are also attributes present in that old god. So they know that. Any educated person in Mexico probably knows that, like someone who researched it. But any common folk doesn't know that.
Wow. So even after
Huh.
being found out, that's crazy to me.
It
So
is
look at
crazy.
that. By the way, that's Bagel. That's
Oh,
that's the leader of our unit. So
Yeah, and for anyone listening, we're talking about a military simulation Xbox team.
right.
But yeah. Yeah, because people if you saw the last podcast with Jack, I don't know if you did, but he
No,
I won't spoil it then. We started it off pretty fucked.
really.
It was fucking hilarious though.
Right.
I had a point with that, but as often happens, I lost it. So
Yeah. Conversations usually like that.
you find that a lot. You lose your points frequently, and then
Yeah.
have to try to like make your way
It's
back to them.
yeah, it's annoying. It's
Yeah.
annoying because you remember it usually when you're after like way after two other points, and it's like, oh, going back to this, and it's like, oh, because it'll derail the conversation again. So,
Yeah, like for the longest, I wanted to ask you if that was your Mario hat on the wall behind you, or if that was no, above you, above the door. Is
yeah, that's mine. Actually,
that a
no,
Luigi hat too?
mine is Luigi's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I didn't want to derail it.
yeah. No, you're good. That's
Yeah, I don't know though. I feel like this helps having these little podcasts and stuff. Like, I feel like it's a muscle almost, that recall, that short-term memory recall. And the more you use it, the better it gets, and the
right.
less you lose your points. But I don't know. It feels like more. I lose my points more, but that's just because I'm having more conversations.
Different people too. You're not having the same conversation. Perhaps similar, but not.
Yeah.
But yeah. Going back to that, it's like, yeah, the point of having the Virgen of Guadalupe the story is that, yeah, I don't think certain Christian movements are of God, as in, like, in the last 100 years Christianity has been attacked from all fronts. Like, if you notice, like, there are places where, like, you could be Muslim and you could preach whatever you want, and there's no problem. As soon as you preach
Christianity.
Jesus,
Yeah.
you're
So I get
you're,
that.
you're
And I experienced that as a Christian myself. But what I wonder now is, so one, yeah, maybe that is something that you could use to substantiate your belief, or maybe if it wasn't true, then people wouldn't be so adamant about protesting your beliefs. But
right.
what if it's also that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know religion itself, like all these different religions have history, but at least in America, Christianity is what we were founded on. And maybe over these 200 plus years, since there wasn't really a whole lot of exposure to the Muslim religion and things like that, they weren't knocking on their doors.
But
Maybe that's what led people to get sick of it, is because Christians forced their belief on to the masses. Not saying that like that's everybody, but that certainly happened quite a bit.
yeah, I mean, that happened more, like, not only here, but, like, this being the example. Yeah, Christianity, as well as any other religion, has been used by people to control other people. It's it's like, it's the same thing with money. You control money, you control people, you control their minds and beliefs, you control people. So you have to be smart enough to, like, break away from all of that and seek, as a Christian, seek God for yourself. And I don't mean interpret it your own way. Like, yes, read the Bible. King James Bible is the best Bible. I'm telling you, just and I say that because it's like Old English. It's funny because it's
No,
like,
I just laugh because growing up at the Baptist churches I would go to, that was a huge thing. KJV only. You don't use
good.
anything else except KJV. Not all
Yeah.
Baptist churches, but the ones I
There's a
went to.
there's a there's a reason for that, and it's because um it's one of them, it's like we take this as a sign. Like KJV has been the most sold book all over the world,
Well, it's
and
also been around the longest.
right. But even so, I, have fun. Um, but even so, yeah, it's been around the longest. But there's been books that have been around the longest, like the Texas Receptors. Almost, there's been books of the same nature been written before or even during around the times of the KGV, but um, they still haven't sold as much as that. And that's like that. Yeah, that we take it as sort of a sign, but it's like it makes sense. Also, you want like the KGV is the standard of the other Bibles. Like I know people that the new KGB, it's like people anybody who believes KGB likes the KGB does not like the new
Yeah.
KGB. They're like, nope, that's trash. It's and it's actually there is some translation issues where like the mother of Mary is called Lucifer, or Lucifer is called Jesus. There's just some stuff, and like and I was like, why those translations? And they're like, well, this is just a translation. And I was like, well, I don't know. If you're a Christian and you believe that God would allow His word, His written word, to be changed in any way, then I wouldn't want to follow your God. Like it's
But
just
it does seem not that you're a hypocrite, but the argument seems a bit hypocritical because the King James Version itself is a version, like it's a translation also of the
right.
original text. It is not the original text.
Right, and that's the thing. You can't not get the original text, but then you go for the next best thing. That's why I said it is the standard for the English people. I actually didn't
Yeah.
say it is the standard for English speaking people.
But I mean, there's even other versions of the Bible where they do directly translate it from the original text. But then, in addition to translating it, they'll give you a few different versions of what this could mean because
Right,
it doesn't translate to English precisely. So it could mean
correct.
a few different things.
Yeah. You get all of that. So I'd say just study the Bible, and like when you read something, read read before it, and like I think when reading the Bible is very like context is very interesting. Like it's very
Important.
important
Yeah.
because you don't want to read like the verse where it says, "Do not," what is it?
Eat pork.
Be with, huh?
Do not eat
It,
pork.
no, no. Actually, that was the thing. That was the thing. In the Book of Acts, it starts changing little by little.
Yeah, I
It's
know, I
like,
know. But like, that's what you're saying, right?
bro,
That,
I was gonna say, do not be unequally yoked with one another, and people use it to say, oh, as a Christian, you're not supposed to marry non-Christians. That's not true. If you keep reading, it's talking about the place of worship. It's telling you do not bring people who don't believe in God, people who do not worship, people who are not saved to church or place of worship, because
really?
why yeah, so it's like it's talking about a bit more than just do not be
Yeah.
unequally jokes, because what sense does that make? Like why can't you marry who you want? What kind of freedom is that? It's like I get not sinning, but marrying people, that's not a sin. Why can't you just
Well, I
marry
think I
somebody who you
remember the passage, and if I remember correctly, it says that don't be unequally yoked. But then it goes on to say that if you're already in a relationship, don't break up with them because you might still be able to win them over to God.
so
But
uh-huh.
it does say, if I recall correctly, that if you're not in a relationship, you shouldn't go get into a relationship with someone that's not a Christian.
Right. So but that's the thing, is like you could apply it to it, but that is not the only thing.
Yeah.
So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all like the context is very important.
Yeah. And um,
Oh yeah, people gonna
people
twist
twist
everything
it.
to,
Yeah. Cause like you'll
again,
read something in
control.
the Old Testament about a woman that gets stoned or something and be like, "Oh, so you believe in stoning women, huh?" And it's like, no,
Right.
man.
No.
Keep reading. Like
Keep
New
reading,
Testament,
yeah.
Jesus he fulfills the
Fulfills
law.
the law, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's huge. That's important. I mean,
Yeah.
but again, it's just a thing where you have to thread carefully, and like obviously you kind of like, I guess if you talking about that, you go at it with faith, because you can't, like, keep in mind that you could be like misinterpreting something, but at the same time you have to have faith that God is steering you in the right direction. And maybe you get something wrong, and then you see this video, it comes up on you're on YouTube, you're trying to look for Christian stuff, and then the algorithm somehow gives you somebody who's reading the same thing you read, or something you
The
didn't understand
algorithm is
before.
winning people over to Christ.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is like it's it'll happen where you will find your the you'll find the answers you were looking for. You may
Yeah.
not like them, but you'll find the answers.
Well,
When I
and
first
I do believe that we have so like you might call it the Holy Spirit. I'll use the same vocabulary, like the spirit of discernment. I feel like we all have that inside of us, that you can tell, Christian or not, you know when something's true. You may not be able to articulate it. You may not be able to beat whatever that idea is in an argument, but when you hear it, you kind of have like a truth meter inside of you that tells you how true that thing is or not. And of course
yeah,
you can be fooled, but like I feel like deep down,
yeah,
you always know. And if you're just sensitive enough to that, then
right.
you
But
won't
I mean,
do bad.
right. But the thing, I think it goes a bit deeper than just a thing, because it sounds a bit random. It's like if you're just sensitive enough, then you won't be fooled. But somebody
Not
who's
sensitive in
dull,
general, but sensitive to that thing inside of you that tells you if something's true or not.
right?
Listening to that
But that's what I'm
voice.
saying. But that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. If you can listen to that voice, it's like not everybody has it. So that now yeah. So it's like it depends. It's like, are you saving? Are you gonna be saved because of it? Because then that sucks.
Yeah.
It's too random. But I get what you're saying.
Well, and this
Yeah,
is
we
like our
do.
tools right here, man. Just conversation. This is how we pick all those things apart,
Right.
figure it out.
Because it's true. I think it ties up with cynicism, really. Like if you have to be. I am a person who's like, my level of cynicism is pretty high. Usually, when anybody from the government is saying something, or anybody who's rich, or anybody who has something to win is telling me something, I usually think about doing the opposite, and it's
And that,
because
I think, is our generation, man. I feel like we've recognized that we get lied to by people in authority, and we don't just trust them we don't take them at face value like we used to 60 years ago.
right.
Yeah.
But if I
Which
have
is good
friends,
because
yeah,
we're
it's good.
yeah.
I have friends that are like 60 years old, and anything against the government, you're not patriots. And I'm like, I am a patriot, actually. I want freedom for my country. I don't want to be lied to by my government. I don't care about,
Yeah.
and it's like whether you're Republican or Democrat. Listen, they're just, how do I say? It's like me putting my hands and like fighting and putting like a puppet show fighting each other. They're still part of the same body. Like, do you understand that no matter what, corruption is corruption? It's like, and that's what I'm saying. It's like we're all gonna be like we're all lied to. It's all about control, and it's all about power. So,
But what's the
you know,
solution there? Because I feel like it's impossible to have a society that doesn't have a corrupt top to it.
well, okay, well,
Because we're
see,
humans. We're
right,
greedy. Yeah.
exactly, and we all conspire. We all conspire. See, the Bible talks about the love of money. It's not money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money. So
Mm-hmm.
again, what do we do for money? We do everything for money. It's
Does
it's
that
be
okay? But does that mean so? Is what it really is saying to me, at least, is that the desire for anything is the root of all evil? Because what do you use money in and of itself is useless. It's just a number. It's just cash. You use
it's
it to
just
get
paper.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah. So like the desire to want things, is that
right.
the root of
Eh,
all evil? Is that what the Bible's
See,
saying?
I think okay, so I think what it's saying there, interesting because it's like it is not evil, but it is the root of evil. So a root is not a plant; it's just a part of a plant. You see? But what does it do? It roots itself in it. So you're like, I just want a house, and then you get the money for the house, and then you have enough money for business, and then you get the business, and you start doing working on that, and then you become a big successful business.
Now you want
And
more.
there's nothing wrong with that. But when you then you're big enough, and then you see a smaller business trying to do the same thing you are, and then you're like, no. So you buy out that business, or you being the bigger business, it's illegal to do that. But let's say you lower your prices so cheap that now ain't nobody gonna go pay for that local shop,
Yeah. Yeah.
and and then that local shop goes bust, and you buy the place out. Now you're like, well, that's just business. No, you just destroy that family's income.
Yeah.
And that's right there where like, oh, it's just business. No, you just justified not murder, but you
Yeah.
just justified taking somebody's livelihood,
Yeah.
and
That's why I think that Milsim is actually kind of a unique learning tool.
it
Again,
is.
anyone listening, Milsim Xbox clan thing. But I think it's a useful tool because in a way it is similar to a business. It's not, I mean, you don't have to buy insurance and like have to worry about half the shit you do with an actual business, but like you still have a group of people, you have a job to do,
It's a job and
and
a half.
yeah, and you're doing all this, you're trying to get all this shit done. That's basically a
You're
business,
still
right?
working with, yeah, and you're
But
still
if
working
I
with
demote
people.
someone or if I fire someone, it's not like that person is going to have to figure out how to pay their bills that month. It's like,
No,
you whatever
it's
go.
more of a pride. It's more of a pride thing, really.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Um,
interesting too that so like competitive, clans and stuff like that, they tend to attract a lot of the younger crowd or maybe people in our age range, but typically I think we're probably the top of the age range for like a competitive gaming clan. But with
yes.
Milsim, we've got Max, right? Like it attracts people that are older, it seems.
Right,
I
right.
mean, we do have
Yeah.
young people, like
Yeah, we
15 year
do.
olds and stuff.
Yeah, we have Gecko.
I think it's
Uh,
just something that I think every man, um, or not every man, but most men really like tactical shit. Whether people want to admit it or not, when a guy sees a bunch of guns and some gear and some strategy and stuff, that's like, you know, he loves that, right? Most
right.
people
I
do.
mean, yeah,
I
yeah.
think,
I
yeah.
mean,
So I think regardless of age, you're still enjoying that.
I think the allure of it, at least for me, is like the allure of it is like belonging to something. So it'll always go down towards the prime, like our instinct, or our most important thing, and it also it ties down to everything we do in life, and it's like we all want purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in a milsim, you have this purpose of, yes, I do my job. Even if I'm the lowest of the lowest, I still, if I do my job right, everything could go better. Everything could go
Mm-hmm.
smoother if I could do my job. And the same thing goes for the top. Is like if I do my job right as a sergeant, my guys will come out all right,
Mm-hmm.
or the best chance of success. And we all have, and of course it's milsim, so we all have fun in the process. We all do our jobs. We all look very cool, and it's just an experience we all share, while
Yeah.
fulfilling while fulfilling our sense of, I guess, while fulfilling that itch for purpose that we have. So it's not
Yeah.
necessarily we're doing something actually very good for society or very important, but it's important to us, and it gives us a purpose because
And it's
that's
real too, because like with Jack, like okay. So I don't know about you, but I have a lot of friends on Xbox and typically from Milsim. But normally you're almost like a little embarrassed to admit that you know, that's your buddy, or not that that's your buddy, but like that you're talking to an Xbox friend on the phone or something. At least when you're younger, I think.
Yeah,
At
because
least for
I
me.
never really cared. Like even
Oh,
now, at my job, I tell the guys who work for me, I was like, yeah, I have this Milsim team. I would never tell them to join because they're way younger.
yeah,
They're above 18, but they're way younger, and it's like I don't mix the two. Like my personal life
yeah.
is my personal life, but
Oh no, I showed my actual platoon everything about USM, and
that's cool. But like,
but like they just made fun of me and told me that if I had put half as much effort into my real job as I did into my Milsim team, I'd be like a staff sergeant, you know?
that's good advice. That is
Yeah.
really good advice,
But no, what I
and
was
it's
saying
true.
though is that it is real. Cause like I kind of got over that as soon as like Jack drove all the way from Texas to Georgia with his wife and 2 kids to see me graduate from the infantry basic training because he said he would if I did it. I mean, that's real, man. And then I met an Italian guy that was in the team while I was stationed in Italy. I met him in Milan, and he was like a broke college kid. And I mean, I was broke too, but I still had a paycheck. So I got us both fucked up on alcohol. And then I think he was like just turned 18 or something, but clearly
Damn.
legal in Italy.
Yeah, I mean, then you got Czech.
Yeah. And then I went to see Czech, and I stayed at his house over Christmas with his family in his house. And then I came back like a month before I left the army and spent like another week up there with them. And you know what I mean? Because like we're sitting here, like, yeah, we're doing this podcast, but when you're on Xbox and you're playing, Milsim or any game that requires you to be sitting there for a while, you start
Right.
talking. And when you talk, you build friendships. And when you build friendships, they get stronger, man. And like, well, and if
Right.
this works out, I mean, I don't know if you're coming along or not, but like,
I don't
if the
think so,
team,
but yeah,
but like fucking like I know it's not like a USM vacation, but it's still like
we
that
know
crew.
each other from there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I mean, yeah,
it'd be
I
funny to
see it.
explain to people how we know each other, though.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's like it's weird, and I get it. It's real. I mean, to me, I wouldn't justify it being real by just because I've seen those people in real life. But I get it. Like when Turner came to the United States for visiting, he would leave. I think he was gonna leave from JFK, which is like a 30-minute drive from me. I was thinking
Mm,
about actually just go. Like I could just meet him. I
yeah,
didn't do it because I don't have a car, and I'm really not like I'm busy with life, and he never told me when he was coming in or not. But the point
you
is,
got to
like,
be careful when they're not 18 too. Like
eh,
it's
Turner is above age. Okay, he just sounds like he's not. He's old enough,
it's like
but
15.
no, he's not.
What are you talking? Oh no, he is 16, isn't he?
He's 18. Doesn't he go to college?
I don't think so. I think he's yeah,
It don't matter. It don't.
yeah.
It doesn't matter because it's
He's gonna
like,
listen to this shit and be like, "Pickle."
I don't know. It doesn't matter really.
That's
The
my
point
charter
is,
voice.
but the point is, I thought, yeah, we can meet. It would be fun. Like, hey, how you doing? Because we build friendships. But like, I mean, again, I don't base it off of that. Like, just having this conversation. We're not an Xbox. I'm not required to be like, yes, sir, and all that shit. I'm not
Very
required to
cringe.
do any of that.
Yeah. It's cringe on Xbox, let alone a video call.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
But it is fun. I
right,
I
right.
really enjoy it myself. When I do get the chance to get on there. And my problem is I have a tendency to go way too hard and grind way too hard on Xbox. And then I get burnt out and then I fucking like just don't want to, but
I get you. I get you. I mean, I don't go to the extent you go. Like you go recruiting everybody, and that's good. I don't have the same drive, to be honest. I just don't. Like
I've just
I
done it
my
enough times to where it's not even like, can I do it? It's just a chore almost.
right,
Like,
right, right. So
yeah.
my thing is like where I'm most successful is where it was my most success having recruits. It was Ghetto Milsom because you know and it's a thing where like I'm not gonna claim it's my idea, but I was protesting when okay, I would disagree when we would just be dickheads and just kick or harass and build the wall on the spawn point.
Yeah.
I would heavily hate that because it's like that is recruitment right there. That is
Well, we
recruitment.
did learn that eventually.
And then that's the thing, and
Yeah.
I would mention it, but like, you know, it's I'm just a specialist and that's it, you know?
Yeah.
And then like later we did it and it was a hit, you know, and then we got private servers and it killed it, you know.
Well, and then ghetto ops was also like another revolutionary idea in USM, just
Right.
incorporating the randoms and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And when it happened, it kind of happened naturally. Like, you know, it wasn't me going out recruiting people. It was me showing what we could be doing with purpose. So we could be playing this with a purpose and like with
Yeah.
structure and making it fun.
Yeah.
You know, because grabbing something that's very boring and actually hard to do and making it fun. Because like being in real military, I don't think it's fun. That shit sucks. It's a
It
job.
depends.
You could die,
Yeah.
but like, but at the same time, it's like any other job. You have fun, you have your laugh, you build your relationships, and you have your sense of purpose. Like in
Yeah.
the military, you know, other than the money, is like if you're very patriotic, you'll be proud of what you do because you're doing something that's not everybody does that, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just
Well, and I try to incorporate like when I'm running ops or whatever. I know it sounds dumb, but I actually try to incorporate boring shit because I think that's where the team actually will, the morale will improve when you make them sit around for a little bit. So like if we're in the op ward and you know it takes 30 minutes for us to figure out how we're gonna hit this objective or whatever, I don't care if they fucking sit out there and hang out at the Humvees and you know, like because in real life that's actually how you make your friendships is with all the boring time and everything. You're fucking sitting around talking, fucking with each other, you know,
yeah,
and
and
then you
then
go to work and then yeah,
yeah,
sometimes
and
do the
that's
same thing in the team.
so yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Even though we're doing the op board, we're all listening in, so there's no time to fuck around. But
Yeah.
the
Well, I mean
point
like when
being,
we're figuring it out, not when we're briefing it. You know?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
when we're figuring it out, yeah.
Yeah.
I still haven't like actually gotten to down to learning all of that.
Well,
I
it
know I
and
wanted to, but it's just like,
it's very Googleable. And usually when I do it, I've already
Mohan already
written.
sent me everything. Yeah, he sent me
Yeah.
the stuff.
I
So
usually
like,
just delete certain parts of it and then put it in with the current information. You know what I mean? Like I don't usually write a brand new op word for every single op that I've run,
no,
you know.
no, yeah. Um,
Plus
but
none of us have written a proper op word. Most of those are like lieutenants will take multiple days to figure out their op word and then you know yeah
real life, hell yeah. What?
yeah sit around
Nah,
figure it out, bring out the ncos around the terrain model, you know, ask questions, you know, try different ideas
yeah,
out. We don't
yeah,
do any of that shit, plus we don't incorporate half the shit you're supposed to have in an op board. It's
of
just kind of
course.
like our video game version of it.
Of course, yeah. You
Yeah.
wouldn't do the real thing. Like, we try to do as best we can, you know.
Yeah,
Like our best is enough. Remember that like deployment setting we had? It was like, yeah, people
that
who've
was
been in
fun.
the military were saying, yeah, this is exactly how it goes with the long lines for your weapons and equipment and all
We
that.
made an
And it's like,
armory and they had to sign their weapons out and shit, dude. I'm
yeah,
telling you,
and
any
it's
veteran would actually appreciate how fucking ridiculously over the top USM can be at
right,
times.
and but it worked, and people who were in the military like literally just said, yes, this is how it is, and they just laughed and they enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
and it's like who would have thought that going into a video game and doing the boring shit at your job would be fun, you know? Because
Yeah.
it's like me, like for some reason doing a deli simulator and like doing that and somehow having fun, even though I I would prefer not to be doing my job for fun, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't consider my job to be fun like that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, so like with infantry, the fun part is everything we do on Arma. The sucky part is everything we do on Arma. Because like,
Right.
okay, so like say we have a long movement ahead of us. To us, it's a little boring. In real life, it sucks because you had to keep stopping, getting down on a knee, getting up, getting down, getting up, getting down. Take your ruck off, put it back on, ruck off, back on, switch socks.
Right.
You know, take a snack, get some water, back at, you know, like it sucks, right? And you got to be quiet. You're not allowed to talk like we do in the ops.
Right, of course.
You have to walk in silence, use signals, things like that.
Right.
In the video game, we take all the sucky parts out of it, really, because it's not applicable. You can't. What am I going to do?
You
Have
can't
people
do
do
hand
burpees while we're doing a
signs.
movement?
You could drop your ruck, but like why what for? You run almost the same and you don't never get tired. It's just a butt.
Yeah,
So, you know, and you can never like you don't have a chance of losing your backpack. It just you just
yeah.
wouldn't drop it. It's like almost impossible.
Well, and there is something cool to it as well. I almost feel like I'm playing a role when I'm Bagel, and I'm being Bagel,
You are.
and but I almost feel like I'm putting on a show when I run an op. Like I know it's not a show, but it's like I'm trying to orchestrate this in a way that's realistic, but also fun and incorporates the boring parts
Right.
without it being 7 hours. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
isn't easy.
it's not, but
Yeah.
I mean, but the point of all of this is like there is purpose in everything we do.
Mm-hmm.
From, you know, I think that people join Milsims for that reason because sometimes we play video games and we lose our purpose because while it's fun, not having a reason to like play a game sucks. It's just not good. You know, you get bored, you feel burnt out. So, you know, to everything there is just this purpose. That's why religion is a thing too. Purpose. We like to belong in places. We like to be part of groups and stuff like that. So it all goes down back to our innate like need to have purpose. Other than that, we would just wither away and I don't know, become deranged or die. Like it's just
Even your body, and this kind of could contribute to your belief a little bit, is a miracle. Like the fact that you even exist is a miracle. That you were the one sperm that made it into the egg, and then you actually made it through the whole pregnancy and got birthed, and then you made it all the way to where you are now. That by itself is a miracle, but your body is as well. Because like I'm really big into vitamins. I've been taking them, a lot of them, and I go to this website by Dr. Rhonda Patrick, where she's a nutritionist and she goes through all these studies and everything. And she tells you, like, she wrote this whole article on vitamin C where she cited, I think it's 103 studies, maybe it's 102. And she was saying that you would benefit from taking an increased amount of vitamin C, basically. So I take around 2,000 to 2,500 milligrams of that a day, and the recommended amount is 110, I think, for a man. And but here's what I learned. So the girl that I dated in Italy was also a doctor, not a nutritionist, but a biologist, and she was explaining to me that the reason she was explaining this was because I had asked my doctor about my vitamin intake. Like, could this harm me? Am I taking way too much? Is this bad for me? Is this, or does it, do you agree that this would help? And she was telling me basically I'm wasting my money. I'm pissing all those vitamins out. And then I told Scarlett about that because I was like, how can she say that whenever Dr. Rhonda Patrick, a nutritionist over here that has 103 studies backing what she's saying, says, oh, money, right? But why? Okay, fair enough. But what the Italian doctor explained to me was that your body has a certain amount of vitamin, like your body doesn't store vitamins. It doesn't store your vitamin C. Your body only maintains like that 110 milligrams or whatever inside of it at all times, unless your body is in a different situation. Like say you have terminal cancer. They found that patients that took a gram of vitamin C intravenously,
Sorry.
no, it's okay, every day for about 10 days, and then 10 more days they took a gram of vitamin C orally, those patients lived 217 days longer than the patients that did not take vitamin C. So if, for example, you have terminal cancer, your body has a heavier requirement for vitamin C. So maybe in that situation, you would want to take an additional amount of vitamin C, you know?
Perhaps.
But
I mean,
I don't know. These are studies though, man. Like you can't just lie on a fucking study, you know, like these were
you
experiments
can't.
that were done,
You,
103.
you can't lie on a study because it get tested. But just like the Bible, what you can do is that you read the bits that you like, and what you don't like, you don't say it.
Yeah,
And that's how they get you. So
maybe.
again, but that's the thing. It's like you could do this study and all this, but everybody's different. Not everybody's the same. So also you have to keep that in mind. It's like, who's
Yeah.
the group? What's the group that because it's
Maybe
like,
your body carries 200 instead of
yeah,
110 or something.
exactly. And
Yeah.
the thing is, like, yes, your vitamins, eating vitamins is good, but it's what's not good is taking vitamins in pill. And the reason I say that is because one, it's kind of unnatural. Two, you could get it from your diet. So if you have a good enough diet, you could get all your vitamins, all the ones you need. There's no need for you to have supplements. When you use supplements, usually what you want to keep in mind is that you have a deficiency for whatever reason. Let's say you have you find that you have a parasite, and usually B12 is what's deficient when you have a parasite like a tapeworm or something like that. So let's say you don't know that you have it, but since the resulting one of the symptoms is you having low B12, then you go to the doctor and they tell, yeah, you have low B12, and you start taking B12. So that helps you out because the deficiency is being is being filled, and you feel better. Now,
Yeah.
now, it's also like, well, it's not just you who feeds on bacteria. I mean, on vitamins. Also, you have bacteria on you that feeds off of it. There is good bacteria and bad bacteria. You don't want to overfeed, and like there. I don't know. I don't know if bacteria feeds on vitamins like that, but um, you don't want to change your bacterium. You don't want to change
Yeah.
anything down there with putting shit that you don't need. Your body is itself very self-regulated for the most part. So it's like drinking pH water, like, oh, it's high pH, is alkaline water. It's bullshit
Yeah.
because your stomach acid is a pH of 1. So by you drinking alkaline water, it does nothing. It literally does nothing. Your stomach acid will literally just ruin the pH of the water you're drinking.
Really?
And yes,
This one's
because it's
pH balanced.
right. So
I
there
didn't
you
get
go.
it
So
for that. I just grabbed a bottle, but
right. So the thing is that um your body is self-regulating the pH in your blood. If it changes by even 1 point, you're in trouble. Okay. So it's like your body knows what to do already. There's not, your body already is perfect. Itself a miracle because it's like there's these things that we didn't know that it's doing by itself.
yeah. But what she explained also was that your body is already optimal. Like it's not like us where we just do shit that we don't like need to do. Your body only does things that it needs to do, and it's working with what you give it, So if you give it vitamins, if you give it healthy food, you give it some exercise, some sauna time,
will describe healthy food because it's like
I know.
our guts are designed mostly for eating meat. Like we're literally just
Yeah.
designed to be not carnivores, but omnivores. We are designed to be omnivores. If we were meant to be like vegetarian, then our what is it? Our intestines wouldn't be so long. Like we would be genetically like different, and our system would be just
Yeah.
different. If we were just assigned to eat just vegetables or just meat, probably our intestines would have been longer. Like it is like we have, and also we wouldn't have canine teeth. It's just not, and it's
Yeah.
not a thing of it's not a thing of evolution. Is more of a thing where, well, I could just say we were created that way or evolved. That doesn't matter. The
I
point
lost your
being is
video. Just
you
so you
lost
know.
my video.
Yeah. Um,
Hold
yeah,
on, I'll go back to it.
no problem. Yeah, no. That's I lost it. Whatever that thought was, I lost it. Continue
But
with
yeah,
what you were saying.
So regardless, like not going into the whether I could say, well, we were created, that's why we work the way we do. I mean, thinking about it, it's like, how do we evolve without making a mistake so badly?
Yeah.
It is like, how do we evolve like that? When do our cells say, oh yeah, it'd be good to like regulate temperature. So we should start telling the cells that the skin that work as the skin to sweat, to develop
Yeah.
sweat glands.
I
So
get that, but like at the same time, me and you cannot even conceive what 200 years is, let alone a million, right? So like if evolution were true, like let's just assume it is for a second. Um you had a lot of time to evolve, man. Like I feel like that's enough time to develop
well,
that type of shit.
so okay, so natural selection is part of evolution. It's like that's how you really evolve. The people who are more adaptive to a certain thing is the people who, or the creature who is more adaptive to the heat is the one who's going to survive the heat.
Yeah.
Therefore, those what is it? Those genes get passed down. So that's what evolution kind of is. So instead of actually adding genes and adding things, you're just removing what's not fit. But that does not explain everything, because you could say, okay, so if the survivor is what stays, so how then did you actually get there to be able to survive?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
did you get to the point where how see, because that's the thing, natural selection is like a part of evolution, but it's not all, because it's like, well, how did you get to the point of being able to survive?
Yeah.
Say, how are you able to, like, say, like a creature with enough fur was able to survive the cold? Well, how did it get there? you know and like
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
at some point it had to have been where, like, well, this guy was built that way, and like, how did it get there?
Yeah.
um
Because you would have died
uh,
before you could have evolved to this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like passing down the genes, I guess, but it's very tough, because like even as you said, like me being here, like being birthed, and like to the point I'm up to here, like through all, inception, conception, and like me being the one sperm that made it. It's like it like you could count with your hands, or like how many requirements it takes for that to happen. Imagine how many requirements it takes for the universe to exist. You know, because it's not just actually for a planet to exist. It's like, well, you can say, well, it has to be a certain distance from the sun, and it has to be
Yeah.
rotating, and there
If we
has
were
to be
too
enough.
close or too far away, it would kill us.
Right,
And
and it's
we
like
need it to live, and it's trying to give us cancer. Yeah.
and that's also a thing.
Yeah.
um but also you need way more than that. I think the requirements, the number of requirements for the universe, let alone our planet, to exist is like 202,500. Like
Yeah.
things that need to be like the right way at the right time for the universe to exist, or it would just be something else and not us. Then again, how would we know, right?
Now we talked a lot about religion, but what do you think about aliens?
Aliens. I think they're angels, just disguised.
Really?
Yes. Um, um, because it's like when you think about when you think about what an alien is an off planet or maybe interdimensional. I'm sounding like Alex Jones now, like interdimensional space aliens. But it's either outside, it's extraterrestrial, so not from here. And it's like, well, an angel is extraterrestrial, and angels were not created in Earth. They have, you know, they're from outer space or heaven or whatever, so there could be considered aliens. I don't think there's like, I don't think that it's impossible that there is no life outside of Earth, but I think it's not important to the point where, like, if in a Christian sense, like, again, like as a Christian, it's like it's not important because my main purpose is to be saved, and then from there, like, get as many people as I can to be saved, not for my personal gain, because I don't get anything from it. Like, I could tell you about Jesus all day. I could tell anybody else about Jesus, and it's like, I'm not gonna tell you. I don't want your money. I don't want you to go to my church. Like, I genuinely care. Like, I really think, man, hell sucks. It's a place where it's like, it's not even a punishment meant for humans. It was meant for Satan and the people who and others who followed. So it's like, it is not even a punishment, rather than completion of a request, because there's like people who don't want to believe in God wouldn't want anything to be do with God. So that's a place where there is no God. So it's like, well, you don't want to be with God, therefore be away from God, you know?
Yeah.
And usually being away from God is like, it's bad. It's bad. Like, um without God as a standard. And then again, like, you could say, you could always say, well, people have used the name of God to commit atrocities, which is true. It's
Yeah.
true, but it's like, when it's perfectly done, or like correctly done, it's like with God you get the standards of our emotions, our standards of our morale. Like, um, we try to. I'll put it to you like this. I'll give you the USM. And it's like, when you're around in the unit, when you actually present, trust me, everybody behaves differently as when you're not around, and it doesn't mean we always mess
Are you
about.
comparing me to God?
I'm comparing you in a smaller scale to,
I,
like,
I know, it's just funny.
yeah, I'm not comparing you to God per se. I'm more comparing
I
you to, like,
am Milsim God.
right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that it's having God as a standard. Like, how should I explain it? Because it's like, with God, you get a standard. You get emotions. That's like, God gets angry. God, we're created in His image, so He is happy. He could be, he could be everything. He has every single quality that we have, because, well, we have every single quality that He has because we were created in His image. So, man, I lost a point because you compared me. You compared. So yeah, I was like,
I'm sorry. It was just
that.
too funny to not comment on.
Nah, I got you. But point being, there's a standard with God, and that standard would be, there's joy, there's happiness, there's justice. See, when we as humanity took the fruit of Eden and we disobeyed, we rebelled against God, we what that fruit did was give us the choice of choosing what's good and wrong.
Yeah.
So when the deceiver said you could be as gods, he didn't mean as powerful as God. He meant you could define good and evil for yourself. And that's why we're in the place we're all right now, because we define what's good and evil for ourselves. See, maybe maybe as a culture doing something, or as a person doing something is not bad for you, or you could justify it. You see, so now you're able to justify things because it's beneficial to you. So that's the example I gave you about the business. You put people out of, you know, you took their livelihood because it was beneficial for you,
Yeah.
and you said it's just business. So you just justify that for yourself, even though you did something that's inherently evil. It was greedy. It was selfish, you know, and you still. So
Well, and a
again,
lot of
going
times
back,
it's dumb to
it
be
is.
greedy like that, because if you take care of someone, even when you don't need them necessarily, like you still keep them on, you give them hours, whatever, they're going to notice that. And that's going to that's going to earn some loyalty from them. You know, they're
Well,
going to
yeah,
want to put out more knowing
but
that
the
you're taking care
example,
of them.
right,
Yeah.
right. But the example was that you have a bigger business and you put a small family business out of
Oh,
business
right. Yeah.
because, yeah. So that's even more so, like, it's evil. Like, you really just
Yeah. It's
you
not
know,
just
you
business.
just ruin people's lives over money when you were already successful. You didn't need to do that. So the same, so again, like, so as a person, you just justified and changed the meaning of good and evil. For you it was good, but it wasn't for somebody else. So God has a standard that's universal, and the same thing is for, you know, that's how he judges. He is perfectly just and fair. So sending you to hell is more like, yes, it's punishing. It's a punishment. Like, you're gonna be in a place where is, I imagine that's gonna be cold and hot at the same time. It's like, because the Bible talks about fire and all that, but it's gonna be cold in the sense that there is no love there. Like, you're gonna be with people who don't, and not just not people. You're just gonna be with entities who hate God. And
Yeah.
so it's like you're gonna have people just full of hatred and suffering, and it's gonna be cold. There's like, what love is gonna be abound there? Who's gonna
Yeah.
love one another? You
I
know?
will say though, the most peace I've ever had was when I was a Christian. Ever
Yeah.
since, it's been turmoil. But the thing that's kind of kept me away from it is trying to figure out if it's true or not before I commit to that. And
Well,
yeah,
okay. So think about it like this: Jesus, we both agreed that Jesus was a character and like a real person. Okay.
yeah,
And this is the thing. See, when when people started claiming that Jesus came back to life, it wasn't just Jesus who came back. It was over 500 people who did. And even if you don't believe that, there is, I think Pontius Pilate wrote about some of the disciples of Jesus, and he wrote that they were dying. So first of all, in the Bible, you know that they start running away when after Jesus is killed. They start hiding because they think they're next in the chopping block.
mm-hmm.
And then they're gathered, and then uh, you remember the day of Pentecost, right? Where they're all gathered, and then Jesus appears unto them, and then like not a tongue of fire. It's something as if it was a tongue.
Oh, right, yeah, like when he comes back from the dead, and then it is like a flaming tongue or something gets on their
Right, like,
shoulder, right?
right,
Something like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
it's yeah, 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 and then it gives them the ability to speak different languages, so that the people, because around that time there was a gathering of all the Jewish people going to the city, and they were like born in other places, so they would most likely be speaking other languages. So that gift of tongues, it was not necessarily saying all that gibberish that Pentecostals say. It was more different tongues, as in English, German, uh, Hebrew, Latin
yeah.
at that moment, Aramaic.
Well, yeah, every
That's what it's
language.
meant.
Yeah, so that they could
That's what it's
minister.
meant. So
Yeah.
they could minister. So
Well, and see, that's
so
my dad's. That it's funny because like I've been around a lot of these debates and everything, and being from two different or having two
two
parents and
different
different.
brackets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both Christian. They generally believe the same stuff, but there's like a lot of uh stuff they don't agree on, and one of them is
Right.
that my mom, for example, she would make the case that whenever you're praying in tongues, it's not you, it's the Spirit praying for you to God.
Right.
And you're speaking a language that only God can understand. Whereas my dad would say, no, when the tongues is a thing, but we should be able to understand it. You should be able to,
Because it doesn't
translates
see,
to every language.
right. And the thing is that it doesn't do anything for anybody if you don't understand the tongue that is being spoken.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think tongues is a thing anymore, because we get to speak almost any language, translate things now, and there's a Bible in every language. There, you could always find something in your language. See, it's not as if Jesus was new, like the Christianity was new, and then there wasn't a way, like, let's say, it's how would you be able to speak to somebody who is, like, let's say, when uh around that area, from Egypt, but they speak a different language. They don't speak Aramaic or Latin or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to speak to him. You want to speak to them about Jesus and what he did and the new news of, resurrection. And that's the thing, is like, how could you do it if you don't know the language? Therefore, that's what the gift of tongues is for.
But now,
So
what do you think about people that died but had never even heard of Jesus? Like, they never heard of Christianity.
I think their conscience bears witness to them, and that's also the
Can
thing.
you say that again? I missed that.
Their conscience bears witness to them. So, like, they could be judged based on their conscience, or maybe they could.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they could be. I don't.
Well, I only say that because
exactly.
I've heard that they go to heaven, and then I could ask you, like, what about kids that don't understand?
Kids, I'd say if you don't understand the difference between good and evil, you don't go to.
They call it
wouldn't.
The age of accountability or whatever.
Actually, when it's funny because I usually you say it's 12 years old, like that's around the age people it's most likely theorized. Like, ever since I knew that, before I turned 12, I always wanted Jesus to come back. Like, please come back before I'm 12, please. Like, I never, like, it's so selfish, right? Like, I mean,
yeah, but you're a kid,
Yeah, but it's still selfish. It was because of me. I was like, please come back before 12. I don't want to work. I don't want to like be good to go to heaven. I just want to go to
that's
heaven.
why.
That's it. Yeah,
that's
it's
funny,
like,
man.
it's hard. Like, it's hard. Even at that point, I was doing things that it wouldn't be like, I was sinning at that point, and like I knew it, and therefore I thought, oh, if I die before I'm 12, I'm gonna go to heaven, and it's incredibly selfish. And I know the difference between good and evil before that, so I wouldn't have gotten saved. And it is crazy. And now I know that it's different. It's like, because of Jesus, I don't have to do anything. It's more, how about I repent and I ask for the forgiveness, and I try to stay away from all of that sin, because it's really not good for you anyways.
See, now that to me, so like, I've obviously argued against Christianity in a way, not like I don't think you would think in a disrespectful way, but one thing I found with churches is they're not bad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's bad to be a Christian, even if it's not true. Like, it's like when your church is focused on the forgiveness and it's focused on fellowship with your fellow Christians and things like that, to me, that's beautiful, because that's just your unit. It's unity, man. Like, camaraderie, brotherhood, like, that stuff's awesome, man. That's why people join the military. They want that. Yeah.
And also the thing is like, if we all lived as Christians should, so, because the thing is, even as Christians, so if everybody lived like we should as a proper Christian, without all the sin, like, we would be okay. Like, it would be great if we actually followed what the Bible said and we actually did it. Because even as, like, I cannot, like, I won't ever, like, preach about Jesus and preach about God, and then like with a straight face, the same face tell you, yeah, I'm good, I never sinned, because it's not true. I'll even tell you some of the shit I do, because to tell you like, no, the reason we need Jesus is because we are like, we do bad things. You see, we're not Christians because we're not Christians because we are good. We're Christians because we are bad. See,
Yeah.
that's a key difference. Like, some people think that because you go to church and everything, you're a good person, therefore you go to heaven, and it's just not true. Like,
Yeah.
if you're a good person, then why did Jesus die? If you're already good enough to go to heaven, or like, why did Jesus die for your sins? It's like, it
Well,
makes no
the
sense.
Bible says, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God." So it's
Exactly.
saying everyone sinned. Now, here's a question I'll ask you. Someone actually, we talked about religion on the podcast, the last one with Jack, and one thing that he asked, because I was actually on the flip side, I think. I think I was actually arguing for religion
For
because he was
for
clearly
religion.
against. I like devil's advocate, but his thing is like some things shouldn't be forgiven. Like if you finger a 3-year-old, or if you, I don't know, walk into a house and murder everyone in the house, or something crazy like that. You're saying
Huh.
God can forgive you for that? Like,
Yes, and the reason why is because
what about the Taliban? What, cutting fucking people's heads off because they, don't share the same religion, or, throwing acid on a little girl that's just trying to go to school, or things like that. Those people get forgiven too?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and the reason why is because God is perfectly just. So the thing is that Jesus lived a life without sinning. Jesus lived a life without making a mistake, in the sense of, well, making any mistake, but like, he lived a perfect life and yet paid for that. So not only did he get crucified, which lasted for 9 hours, it wasn't just and that. No, he was tortured, he
Tortured.
was
Yeah.
beaten, he was spitting on, he was cursed at,
Stabbed with a spear.
stabbed with a spear, and that was just the physical part. See, God also punished Jesus, like put all his wrath of all sin from present, past, and future in that one moment.
Yeah.
So he really, like, there's a reason why he said what he said, Father, let this cup pass from me, because he knew that it was going to be very horrifying.
Yeah.
And it so it's just that. So like, and that's why, because it's like, Jesus really not doing anything wrong, being innocent in all, like, in everything, being innocent in the human world, being innocent in the eyes of God, he still became the sacrificial lamb for us.
Yeah. And I know
So
that and this is kind of like how I responded to Jack, is that, at least according to God, all sin is equal. Like
exactly, the
you
standards of God are
lying,
too high.
is just as bad as cutting that Christian's
You
head
hate,
off.
yeah, you hating is just
But
as bad as you
isn't that
murdering.
isn't that such a ridiculous thing to say though? I mean, I'm not saying it's not true, and I'm not saying you're dumb for saying that, but like, isn't that so crazy that
Well,
we could believe that somehow like rape is just as bad, or sorry, lying is just as bad as, like, if I lie at the store
well,
about
we,
how much I weigh because someone asked me, I don't know, like,
so
that's just as bad as me raping someone.
right.
That's
So
crazy.
the thing is, like, it's, I don't think we don't necessarily believe it. It's not like I believe that stealing 5 cents is the same as stealing $1 billion. It's because, to me, and and this is something that, like, you're not, like, it's, you're misinterpreting the point. The point is being made is that all sin is equal, therefore, like, see, God is perfect, he cannot have any sin, he cannot have anything around it. Actually, by when God was on earth, like, his presence was on earth, and with the 12 tribes of Judah,
Yeah.
of Israel. Sorry, Israel. As like if you went in without doing the proper rituals, like cleansing yourself, not only physically but spiritually, you would get into his presence and you would be obliterated. You see, God was so good and so perfect that any imperfection and anything imperfect would just be obliterated.
Yeah.
Meaning God is so good that is bad for you. As God is so good that is bad for us. So
Yeah. Well,
so
and
that's why
there's some things I feel that you cannot argue against. Like for example, I hope I'm not messing this up. I try to be accurate when I'm on the podcast because I feel bad when I say shit that's not true. But no, I feel like it was so long ago, but I saw a video of a public shooter, and he had, or mass shooter, he had shot a lot of people, and he was standing trial. But he was standing trial from inside his prison cell. They had like a video camera in there and a TV, and one of the parents forgave him. I mean, like, oh my God, man. Like that just like that almost makes my eyes water a little bit just thinking about it. That a parent,
yeah.
it's so beautiful, right? Like on behalf of their kid, they tell him this isn't what he would have wanted, you know. And she was like in tears, and then she forgave him.
I'm pretty sure that infuriated everybody else though. But that's the
Maybe,
thing
but
is that
he stood there. He stood there and didn't react. That was what was crazy because he just stood there like this the whole time. Which I guess I get because like if I had just killed a bunch of people and I had all their parents like looking at me, I probably wouldn't be too expressive.
right. I
Yeah.
mean,
And I'm
and
sure all the other parents had horrible things to say to him. Not that that's not justified, like of course, but I
yeah,
mean just the fact that that one parent that just always stood out in my mind, man, that like geez, man, like your kid died and you find it in yourself to forgive that person that killed him. Like that is
yeah.
so powerful, dude. How
So
can
it
you argue
is.
against that? Like,
Yeah, and it's like moreover when the perfect sacrifice, like an innocent person died for you, so that when you're looked at, what God sees is that person who, what God sees Jesus, not you
mhm.
and not your actions. So it's just that it was like I believe actually Jeffrey Dahmer is actually saved. And as crazy as that sounds, the guy who literally just took people and put acid in their brains, and is like, I believe that his Christian conversion was genuine.
Who was the
And
homosexual one? Was that him?
yeah, that was him. That was
He was
him.
the homosexual one that would go to the bars and bring men home and
Yeah,
kill them and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
I
That
listened
was him.
to a lot of his interviews. If you know that, not on Netflix, but like the actual documentary where someone sits down across from him, like this actually, like on a right across from a table or whatever, just interviews him for hours. They break it up into different parts. And to me, I know it's a crazy thing to say, but I would encourage anyone that would criticize me for saying this to first watch the documentary. But in a way, he's almost like the most ethical cannibal you could be, or like the most not ethical. What am I looking for? The most remorseful, I guess. He feels for his parents. He like sincerely argues on their behalf that they were great parents, and he just turned out to be a turd, basically. And he says that it's horrible for his parents, and when he was doing the murders, he didn't like it. He felt like it was a sickness that was coming over his mind. He was wanting to get caught. He didn't want to keep doing it, but he felt like he couldn't stop himself.
I mean, if for any okay, so for anybody who's listening who's also a Christian, or like, it's like watching porn and then you feel dirty and then you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, and then you do it again. It's literally
What are
like
you
that.
talking about? Watching Jeffrey Dahmer?
No, not watching, but like I guess that's sort of what he felt, although in a very more sick
Oh,
way.
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A much more extreme
It's
version,
like
but similar,
yeah,
the
yeah,
same concept.
yeah,
Yeah.
or like having an affair with somebody and like feeling like shit afterwards, but then you do it again. I guess it's like that for him. Not an excuse. He still did what he did was wrong, and he was judged for it. I'm pretty sure. But the thing is that he would still forget. He could have still be forgiven by God, and
Yeah.
you know, because of Jesus. Because
No.
and that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's just it's hard because how could I forgive that? How could I? Actually, a point. You remember when I told you that everybody was like a bit back? I said everybody was against Christianity. It's like when he would talk about Jesus and Christianity, and every interview that he did, almost everyone, they would take it out. There's very little interviews about him talking about Jesus that are still out there.
Really?
Most of them got deleted. Yeah.
I did not know that. I wonder
Yeah.
why.
So I listen. I don't think anybody wants to know about like it just stands against Jesus, and two, people did not want to see him forgiven. People did not
Well,
want to see him to be the good guy. It's just
ju-
not the public eye. People would not
yeah,
forgive that. You see?
exactly. Just the idea of him somehow being redeemable pisses people off, you know, like, and rightfully so. I mean, he did
Yeah.
horrible things, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
But
after watching those interviews, I was really intrigued. Like, I just, he seems so different from. I went down this rabbit hole where I was listening to all these serial killers and cannibals be interviewed. You know, because I'm really interested in psychology and stuff, and to me, I'm always wondering like, what would lead someone to do this? You know, like why are they doing that? And so I'd listen to these documentaries, and I can't remember the names. The guy that led the cult, though, he had the people that
oh yeah.
followed him, and they would kill people for him. He never technically killed anyone himself. He had them do all the killing for him. But I mean, he would do things to like hypnotize them, almost not hypnotize, like, you know, stare at the fucking watch and let
It's
me
just what brainwashing of
like
some brainwashers.
exactly,
And
yeah. But imagine like
well,
me and you are sitting across from each other, and part of my like cult exercise is you have to copy everything I do. So if I'm looking at you and I go angry face, then you do angry face. If I raise my right hand, you raise your right hand. And he would do these sessions with all of his cult members because in a way it was like
oh,
imposing his personality onto them.
so what that is mental conditioning. It's like actually a thing that goes on every day. Advertising is very mental
Military is
conditioning.
really good at it. That's why they have you shoot at
Military is
human
really
shaped
good.
silhouettes instead of circular targets.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just that mental conditioning. I mean, if I go down the rabbit hole of like conspiracy theories, you can say, well, MK Ultra, if you ever heard of that, or anything like that. It's like it's just mental conditioning so that we reject God and Jesus in a way. And same thing for other things. It's just but
Wait,
and
what's the MK Ultra thing?
it's like it's a theory of TVs and TV shows used to brainwash people into
Oh
like
yeah.
being submissive and like basically just get messed over
Well, the internet
by the
fucked that all
government.
up
And
because like before they were controlling our only source of entertainment,
but they still and then and see, and that's
or
where
a primary source rather. But yeah.
and this is where the things of like now it comes up to like uh political correctness, or what is the other one, misinformation. See,
Mm-hmm.
that's why that's a thing, and it's because like people could just be like, you know, say anything. There's freedom now, like you can believe anything you want. But see, powers that be do not want that, and it's like that is not a conspiracy, that is a fact. Like if you are not with like there's it's almost a cult following, really. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, so you know, it's just so. But I mean, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole
No,
yet.
I just hadn't heard anything about it, so I was curious what you were talking about. But
No, I mean it's not, it's just an example. There's many other ways of doing it.
I mean
Again, there's
they
benign
certainly,
reasons, and
yeah.
there's man, I'm like looking at a fridge to see what I could eat. I want to munch on something. Yeah.
um yeah. Fuck, man. I had a point that I was about to make. Well, you know what? I have something else I was gonna run by you anyways, because I was kind of curious on what you might think. But so I have this theory, and I brought it up on a few podcasts now because I'm just getting different perspectives on it. That
Right.
humans are inherently selfish. all humans and all actions are selfish. Now, I don't like the theory. I don't want it to be true, but I think it is. And the only way I can really think to work through it is through examples. So, like, for example, you're talking about saving people, right? Or not you say, I know, you know what I mean, though, like leading
Yeah,
them
I
to
know.
Christ. And yeah.
Right.
Well, then I could say that you're doing that because it makes you feel like you fulfilled your purpose. You know, maybe you're with other people. It gives you camaraderie. It I feel like there's selfish reasons for everything that we do. Even like
Yeah.
for something extreme. Now, this one's a really hard one to pick apart, and some people might even think I'm a piece of shit for even thinking through this example. But like, let's take a generic example of a soldier who jumps on a. You know what? We'll make it Russian since everyone fucking hates Russia now. Well, what about that Russian soldier that jumps on a grenade for his fellow Russian buddies? How could you say that that's selfish, right?
Well, maybe he wanted out, and that's his quick way.
I don't think it's that, but
And
I think it might be a self-image, right? Like your self-image is that you want to go out as a hero, you want to go out as a badass. You do like your buddies, and you know,
the
um,
problem with that argument is that, trust me when I tell you, the instinct of self-preservation is way stronger than anything. So when I say this, that person jumped for his buddies, he meant it. He meant it, because if he was selfish in any way when it comes to that, he wouldn't have done it. It's like,
and see, I came to that same conclusion myself the first time I brought this up, that maybe that is a question that can't be answered unless you've actually been in that situation and selflessly acted in a way that yielded you no benefit whatsoever.
mm-hmm.
Um,
And that's the thing.
yeah.
It doesn't. Same thing with that. When I talk about Jesus and all that, it's like it yields me no benefits, because one, I don't go to churches, and two, I don't get anything from it. Like when it comes to like, if anything, if at all, it just might get me scorn from the person I'm talking to about it. And and it's not like I go out there and start giving tracts and be like, Jesus love you. No, no, no. But when I do converse with people, it usually leads around that, and I like it, because it's like, it's a chance of, like, me. I see it like this. There's this train, and it's heading to, like, there's this train and there's this bridge on the train tracks, and it's just broken, and that bridge is just gonna lead you to your death. And I'm just riding on a train next door that's about to split off to another place that's not broken, and you'll be fine. And it's just me trying to extend the hand, like, hey,
Hop over here.
what? Yeah, hop over here. Where you're heading is not good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of space. And that's the way I the analogy I use, because it's like, again, it yields me nothing. I don't want your money. I don't want anything from you other than for
But
you
it gives
to
you
at least give it a
purpose.
chance.
It makes you feel good, right? Like, isn't that kind of selfish? And let me just clarify, I'm not saying that even if it is a selfish motive, that somehow that's bad, because like at the end of the day, you still did jump on the grenade for the people. You still are trying to help people through sharing, Christianity, right? Like you're still doing good things regardless of what the motive may or may not be. But on the podcast, I like to analyze things that really don't matter. So
Right. But the thing, but you're right. Again, it's like, yeah, it might not be a bad thing, and yeah, okay, it's selfish,
but that can
to a
also be
degree.
conditioned. I don't know about jumping on a grenade, but like, for example, jumping out of a plane, that's a very scary thing. Especially at first, and the military conditions you, right? Like before you even set foot in the plane, you spend 2 weeks on the ground and you're practicing falling
Well,
off of platforms, and you're practicing
all right.
jumping over and over and over for 2 weeks, 12 to 16-hour days. That's all you're doing. Then they
So
put you in the
question,
bird.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you another point. Like, so when do you think people start being selfish? From birth or
Yeah.
from
From birth. Yeah.
From birth. All right. So I encourage you to watch this documentary on Netflix called Babies. You see, babies are not really that much of a blank slate. And that documentary is like literally a bunch of tests they do on not only like 2 months old, like it's just there's babies that are like it's just from the day they're born to like they're like 2 or 3 years, they're being tested on different things, psychologically most likely.
Yeah.
And there was this test of like a baby, like they put a baby, I don't know how old they were, but like they could walk, like they could walk, but not much more than that. They could walk, and they put them to play. They had not just one, there's multiple of them. They put them to play, a very fun thing for them, and they would just be playing on a corner of the room, and then the other side there's this adult trying to work, and then something goes wrong and he's trying to reach for something that he can't reach, and every single time the baby stopped playing, so stop doing what they wanted and did something that they didn't necessarily wanted to do just to help the adult up. They didn't know the person, but yet
Okay,
they
but
stopped having their little fun and then helped. And it's like,
yeah.
how could that be really selfish when they got one, nothing to gain, and two, it wasn't taught to them to do that. So
Well,
how
they
do
they do have something to gain. But before I argue back against that, I just got to say I just now saw your shirt and I love your shirt.
Thank
Call
you.
it poopy.
Yeah.
But so
I put
I
it
know
on
it seems
purpose.
like I'm reaching. I am playing devil's advocate here because I'm not committed to the idea. Like I'm hoping it's not true because I would like to believe that people are selfless, you know. But my argument against that would be that instinctually, they recognize that that's their caretaker, and
No, but it would be a stranger.
oh,
Yeah, it would be a stranger.
that is interesting then, man.
Mhm.
I was actually about to take back what I had said about babies because I didn't figure because like after thinking about it a little more, I mean, are babies even conscious enough to be selfish or selfless? Like, do they even get it? Like, do they know what they're doing? You know what I mean? Like, I
They know.
guess, yeah,
They know some stuff. Actually, I'll tell you as much.
they're not selfish
Babies
when they
know
wake, or
more.
they're not selfless when they wake you up in the middle of the night screaming.
Yeah. Well, tell you what. They know more than they let on, obviously because they can't talk. But
Yeah.
they know when something is supposed to happen, and when it doesn't happen, it intrigues them.
Yeah. Well, kids
Same
are very
documentary.
curious. You know.
Same documentary. They were testing to see if they knew about physics somehow. I was like, wow, how would a baby know about physics? So it's this little like puppet show, and there's this ball, and it's rolling down a table, and it falls, and and all they have to do is look. So the baby is looking and looking, and then the ball falls. They look for about it. They look, for about 15 seconds, and then they disengage. They get bored. Same thing, same show, same little puppet thing. The ball rolls, and once it gets over the edge, it just floats. And obviously, they're babies; they can't do anything other. But they stare at the ball for twice as long as they normally would have. So when something out of the norm happens, they notice. They're like, "Wait,
That
hold on a
always
second."
falls, and now it's just rolling on the edge. That's weird, right?
Right, not even rolling; it's just floating. I was like,
Floating.
"Hello."
Oh, well, how did they make it
So
float?
they're just holding it through a stick on the other side. Maybe
Oh,
you just
okay,
don't
okay,
see
okay.
it from perception,
Yeah,
like they're just. So they're like, wait a second, that's not supposed to happen. So it's just things like that, and it's like that doesn't really say much, but it tells them. But it's enough that okay, well they're aware of something about like needs to be happening, and it's not happening. So they're aware. They're very aware of things like they.
Yeah, you ever get the death stare from a baby? Like where they just like
Uh-uh.
look at you with a straight face and just look at you for like until their parent turns them away or something like that.
Yeah, but most babies like me. Like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
usually
I'm
make
not
a
saying it like they're scared of you. I'm saying it like they're trying to figure you out or something, you know?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
usually I just get them with a funny face or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or I just stare at them back. Like,
Yeah,
what's good, bro?
kids are funny, man, because like I brought my baby brother here to the office the other day because I have a VR headset and he loves it and like he never gets to play it. And so and plus we have like really shitty internet up on the mountain. So, sometimes I'll bring him here and let him play in one of the other rooms on the VR headset. And it is nice also to have the company out in this fucking abandoned building in the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere.
not just you and whatever
Yeah.
is that standing behind you, but yeah.
Yeah, no, he's in a different room whenever I do this.
No, I know, but like at least it's
Yeah.
not just you and whatever that dark figure behind you is.
Yeah. I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
No,
I'll look. There's no dark
it's not.
figure. I had to look.
You looked you looked on the wrong
Oh.
way.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
you
not
know
over
what?
there
You
either.
should go. Yeah, you should Google with Jeff the Killer.
Jet the Killer.
Jeff the Killer. Yeah.
What's your plans for the rest of the night?
I was actually like planning on playing God of War. Like I wasn't gonna attend the event today. I really wasn't. I was like, okay, I'll do the podcast early when after I get out. I'll put the clothes away, laundry and whatnot, and then I'll play God of War. Finally, I want to play God of War, but it didn't happen. So
Yeah. I used to love this one song in the military. It's so dumb, and I hate myself now for it. But I would blast it as loud as I could on the sound bar, the subwoofer, while I took a shower after PT in the morning. And it was called God of War. It's like, I am the God of, like that type of shit. And then my buddy made fun of me for it. He's like, "What are you, 15? I am the God of," and I'm like, "Dude, you're so right, man. Why am I listening to this? I feel like such a loser." Oh yeah, I'm the
I
God of
mean,
War. Like, what the fuck? What is
yeah,
this?
and then it's like you're so right, but then again, your opinion does not pay for my bills. So, and then you know,
Well, he made me feel so cringy anytime I put it on that I just stopped. And it was a good move, man. I mean,
fine,
Metallica is much better, you know.
fine. But again, it's like, listen, you shouldn't just change your ways just because it's cringy to other
Yeah.
people. Now, change your ways if it's
Well,
actually bad for your
yeah.
health and other people.
That
Like,
yeah, but you still get cringed out at yourself sometimes, and you're like, oh yeah,
I
what?
get cringed out at things I used to do that are kind of wrong. Like, like I used to just be mean to people for no fucking reason. Like it's just I would just be that guy to just be an asshole and just answer in certain ways. Or like usually you cringe out you cringe out when you're like trying to talk to a girl when you were younger and like it just didn't go as planned and like why did I
Yeah.
say that? That should be cringy.
I
Good.
get cringed out at myself on the podcast, bro. Like, because I listen to these sometimes, like Jax. I like listening to Jax because I mean, I think the whole motorcycle gang thing is pretty interesting. Or okay, he's gonna kill me for saying that. Motorcycle club. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
yeah. But I'll
It's
listen back
religion,
to it
not
and I'll be
it's
like, dude, why
religion,
am I
not a cult.
laughing like that? Or why did I say? Am I just trying to be entertaining? Like, what the hell's wrong? Why am I doing that? Ugh. But I feel like it's useful in a way because we have a lot of conversations, but we never have a record of them. We can't go back and like listen to them and pay attention to what we were doing and things like that. But on here, like if we have a podcast right now, I mean we are, and say like the mushroom trip to Amsterdam or something, like that memory gets a little hazy. I can always like this is crystallized in the podcast forever, man. I can just come back and listen to what we said, get tuned back up to speed. That's why I love this. And it's a useful tool for becoming better at conversation, man. Like, especially when you start listening to yourself and you're like, oh my God, why do I talk like that? Like, then you fix
I
it.
understand.
I feel like what you do, the more of these kinds of things you do, and when you go back and listen to yourself and all that, I feel like you aren't necessarily improving I mean, you are improving your skills, but you're more or less becoming more natural and comfortable. That's how I feel with this podcast. Like in the beginning, it was a little kind of uptight. I was getting used to it and everything. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing on this channel. But now it's like I'm feeling a little more comfortable. It's like, okay, so this is going to be like a conversation podcast. Like that's what we're going to do. And I love it, man. We get to talk about things. We get to go down the rabbit holes on whatever the hell we want to go down the rabbit hole on. And I feel that you're a little bit more, you don't feel the need necessarily to express your opinion as much whenever we have deep conversations, and like it's not a normal one like where we've run into each other at work or something and we have like a 10-minute convo.
No,
like
we agreed to this.
Yeah, we agreed to sit down and have a conversation and just go back and forth, man. And like I don't try to cut you off. I let you make your entire point, and if I do, it's I'm not trying
Related.
to. Yeah,
Right.
it's related. Yeah, you don't normally get the opportunity to just sit there and make your point.
Right.
Listen.
You saying that you find me not pushing like my opinions, or you saying like in general podcasting conversations?
Oh,
you don't find
in
it?
general,
Okay.
I think it's helpful. You don't feel the need necessarily to express your opinion to as many people because you've already fully expressed it. It's almost like the expression itself is what you want. You just want to be able to express what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I was about to say like, well, you feel awkward and all that doing your podcasting, but like me, this is my first time on a podcast, and I'm being recorded for the internet, and I don't know who's gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Or what they'll think, but like I'm chill. I'm not nervous about it or anything. But then again, I'm not the one making a podcast. I'm just a guest. This is a one and done thing. You kind of keep doing it, so I'm thinking, no, it'd be the same for me if I was doing.
I get a little more comfortable as time goes on. Like like this doesn't feel like a podcast to me right now. This feels like a conversation. Yeah, and that's how it should be. That's how we get the best podcasts is whenever this feels natural. I just wish we could do it in person. Like that would be ideal, but you gotta work with what you got.
We're not on Joe Rogan level yet. All right, hold on.
Nah, bro. But if we ever get there, man, I'm pulling out all the fucking stops, dude. We're fucking, I don't know, like it'll be like if you come onto the podcast, it's like a whole day of fun shit, and then we sit down and have a conversation.
Well, so long as we get to go to range and like blast them,
yeah, whatever tickles your fancy, man. Like,
hell yeah.
But yeah, that's dreaming for the future, though. It'd be cool, but the only gun I got now is this one.
What's that?
It's a car. It's a car 45, and I wanted a P365X from 6 Hour. It's so sexy, but it's also twice the price that this thing was.
How much is that?
I got it for 300. For my dad owned it, and I just bought it from him. So,
listen, you can protect yourself. Out here in New York is not looking good. Even though laws are changing for the better of that, like having like pistols and all that. Still, people are they're just making it impossible for us to do.
Well, out here in Tennessee, bro, we didn't have to even do no paperwork, man. I literally just gave him $300 cash and he gave me the pistol. And that's legal.
That's great.
Yeah, same thing in Florida. You can just, work out a deal between the two of you. Or if it's an unregistered weapon, how the hell do they know where you got it in the first place?
Right. Those 80% kits, man.
Yeah.
So good. I see. When before Torch left, like that AK he got recently, so good. Looks so sexy. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but that. Hey, Torch.
Oh, Torch. Yeah, he likes that platform. I
love it too.
I mean,
but then again, I love all the guns, bro. I love every gun except for like, of course, like shitty ones like Deagles and stuff like that. I don't like Deagles, but
I'll stick with an AR-15 though, just because like that's what I was in the Army. I used an M4. I know how the M4 works, and I'm just comfortable with it.
Well, actually, I would pick CMMG Mutant though.
What's that?
CMMG Mutant. So it's all right. So it's a pistol that shoots 7.62 by 39 with with an AK mag. It's literally legally a pistol, but like that's why they call it a mutant, because they don't know what to categorize
Bro,
it.
it's
Like
such a stupid gun.
I know it is a stupid
Wouldn't you
gun, but
rather just have a
it also
9mm so you can have like, I don't know, 8 more shots?
oh no, it's a pistol, but it's a short barrel rifle. It's an SBR basically, but
Oh yeah.
legally is a pistol because the
My
barrel does
dad
not
has
go
one of
past.
those. Does it not have a butt
Nah,
stock?
it's a arm brace.
Is it like a pistol grip AR-15 kind of?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, so it's like, and it's an arm brace. It's direct blowback, so the 10 millimeter versions of that, mm, they're good. Yeah,
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of debate going on right now in the military as to
they got
whether
5.7
yeah, well they got the M5 that they're rolling out now.
M5. Oh yeah,
But it
yeah.
uses plastic cartridges. I think we were talking about that a
Uh,
little bit last night.
yeah, actually, yeah. Those are pretty good. That ceramic thing, it's not plastic.
That's why a lot of the military folks hate it though. They don't like the idea of a plastic.
oh, what, you gonna? They don't want to recycle. Is that it? No, I'm kidding.
No, I think they just don't
Um,
think it's reliable. Like it's gonna jam more. You know, it's gonna
it's
the
a
casings aren't.
cartridge. Wait, all right. So I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking from inexperience, but to me, it's like,
Well, I've never shot a gun with plastic cartridges, so I don't know either. But
all right. So I'll think about it like this. So long as the cartridge could hold the explosion. Also, the explosion is happening on the barrel itself, like on the edge of the barrel. So, like if so long as the cartridge could hold together and push the bullet out, you're fine, and
yeah,
it'll
yeah.
eject just fine with the rim and everything. It should eject just fine. Like
No, I
engineers are
know.
smart enough.
Yeah.
Actually, that's patented too. Like that bullet, I know the one you're talking about. It's patented and it's cool, man. It's a good it's somehow I think it leads to like less recoil, and it's also like lighter. It's
Well, it does fuck things up in a different way too, because it is a different round. It's not 5.56. NATO
is it-
uses 5.56 and 7.62. Like that's like our standard ammo. If we're
well,
working
man.
with other countries that are NATO,
Oh fuck
and
NATO.
we're providing supply, you know, like say
Yeah.
we're providing ammo, we can
Yeah,
just
we
ship
just
some
give
of
them
our
the old. I
5.56.
mean, it's not like we're gonna delete, like somehow just put every. It's not
Yeah, but we'll
we're
still
gonna.
lose our capability to provide. I mean, we'll still be capable, I guess,
We'll
but
still be capable because we got stockpiles of it, and like, if anything, we could just sell that ammo to them or sell it to
true.
the public. So that's like
Yeah.
a new source of revenue because now you got all that supply, and people are not gonna get that weapon or that ammo so soon. So they'll buy the old ammo. Now there's gonna be a surplus of ammo. They could sell it to other countries. Who knows? Maybe we'll give it to the terrorists like we did. Like
Hey guys,
you
we gave
know.
you all this other shit. We don't use this anymore. Here you go.
Wait, what happened?
Well, you said we could give it to the terrorists.
Right. We don't
Yeah,
use it
yeah,
anymore. You guys.
yeah. Yeah. Trying to think, there was another issue with it too. Oh yeah, the military in general, or at least the army, has a tendency to not listen to its own people. Like for example, the M16 that was used for Vietnam. That was heavily opposed when it first was rolled out. I read this book by Colonel David Hackworth. It's called About Face. And he said that he was given an M16 when he was in the 101st Airborne. And the ranking officer basically told him, I want you to test this in like every conceivable condition and tell me, you know, should the Army, you know, buy a shit ton of these or not. And he said he tried it in dry weather, wet weather, hot weather, cold weather. He did the mud test where, you know, where he tosses in the mud and, you know, shoots it while it's dirty. He shoots it clean. And he said that there was only one thing that was true about that weapon in every single situation, and that's that it jammed.
Yeah.
So, whereas he said that the old one that they were using was far more reliable and they should not have gone with that platform. So when he got to Vietnam, I mean, he was obviously enraged that they had went with it because it wasn't just him. It was a number of other military officials that had tested this
What were
out.
they using before? Was it A10?
What? That's a plane.
No, sorry, not A10. It's a 7.62 variant of something like the
Well, I think weren't they still using the M1 Grand?
M1.
Or no.
Grand.
What am I saying? That's World War II. The hell were they using? I can't think of the name. I don't
I
know.
thought
I
it was
mean,
a
I don't
it
think
was
it
an
was
AR like thing, but it shot bigger rounds. So
probably.
there, so to me, there, I think I heard of the reason that they did that is because it was 5.56,
Yeah.
and it's just lighter rounds, and you just adopt
Well, he went and when he was in Vietnam leading his element, they were digging up a hole for some reason. I don't remember why, and they came across an AK that was buried. And he's
mine.
like, and he said he looked at his dudes and he was like, "Hey, you guys want to see what a real gun does?" And he jumped in the hole and grabbed the AK that had been buried, and immediately just started shooting it. And it sang, no jams, no nothing. And in his opinion, no, I take that back. I don't think he said that we should have gone for the AK, but he considers it a real rifle. That's what he says. That's a real rifle. So I get why people are big fans of AKs. They're reliable, and the M4 is significant. I mean, the M6, even the M16, there were significant improvements to the M16 after
Well, now
Random
it's
rolled
like
out.
they're great. You know,
Yeah. What
you
confuses
can
me
just
though, like after being in the infantry, I never deployed, but I did a lot of training, you know, at night in the woods with nods, and it was tough with nods. How the fuck did they do this in World War II or Vietnam? Like, how did they navigate? They had a starlight scope, but from what I understand, like the nods I had in 2021 or whatever, they work, but they're fucking pieces of shit. They constantly go out. You have to literally, like, one normal troubleshooting method, no joke, is smack the shit out of it. Like, I'm dead ass. If you're in the woods and your nods go out, just smack the fuck out of it. When my team leader told me, like, I told him, I was like, "Hey, Dougie," it's like, I can't fucking like see anything, bro. Like my nods went out. He's like, "Did you smack it?" No. It's like, smack it. I smacked it. It came right back on, man. It's like it's always there, dude. You just smack it, comes on. But they were using starlight scopes. Those things are fucking ancient, and they must have been way worse than the nods we use today. And they did all the shit that they did back then without the capability we have today. To me, it's just
hmm
crazy that they navigate. Like, have you ever been in the woods at nighttime?
I no. Yeah, I have. I have.
Have you ever been in
Um.
the woods at nighttime when there wasn't really any moon?
Yeah, I have. I have.
Dark
Actually,
as fuck, right?
yeah, it's super dark.
Yeah. Do they use red lights? Because I know, like in the military, they're always big that if you're in the woods, you have to use a excuse me, a red light, instead of like a normal white light. And I wonder if that stems from back in the day when they didn't have these night vision capabilities. They would use the red light occasionally to see what was in
I
front of them or something, you know?
I think it's because maybe because red light has a shorter wavelength and like it's shorter range.
Well, it's something to do with, like, because if you're in the woods, people are trying to kill you. The last thing you need is a fucking flashlight to let everybody know where you're
Right.
at. But I guess the red light makes it more difficult to figure the position, or maybe it's not as obvious as white light.
We're gonna
But
have to figure that out. We're gonna have to test it.
I'm sure
Um,
it's Googleable.
I mean,
But
it's all of this is Googleable. Google
yeah.
whatever. You can look it up. Oh shit, you can
Hey,
look
we
it
need
up.
your wife to keep Googling stuff for us, man. Like
Yeah.
Jamie.
Oh yeah. She didn't even look at it. She looked. So the thing is that story that what I told you, like we already discussed that. I discussed that with her like long ago, and she looked it up and I was like she remembered, which it's great.
Uh,
I didn't remember all of the details,
hmm.
but when she said it, I remember like oh right, it wasn't a thing of um. Wow, I was looking for shit to eat, and look, there was like already a taco making kit, chicken, pork, and then spicy
Ugh.
as shit. Ah, meanwhile, I just ate 3 slices of bread with Nutella like a bum. All right, but
Well,
what was I saying?
I don't know.
Sorry.
Um,
It's
I lose my thoughts and I lose your thoughts, man. But
all right.
we could probably wrap it up here, I think. I think we're actually a little over 2 hours. You might you might be my longest podcast. I don't know. Let's see.
That's good to hear. I was your longest. Let's go, baby.
No homo.
No, kidding. No homo. I'm
Um, oh, well, I think I may have actually lost him, which is pretty convenient because we're right at the end of the podcast. I don't know if he'll reconnect so I could say goodbye. But if he doesn't reconnect here in a couple seconds, we'll go ahead and wrap this podcast. Oh, there he is. Hey.
It's funny because
Hey.
I was hearing you say, "Oh, we just lost him." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, your screen froze and couldn't hear you.
Oh,
What was I saying?
I don't know. I was just doing
That's how
a
you know
whole
it's a good
joke.
time to wrap up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. When we both out of ideas and our brains just farted enough, that's it.
Yeah. But we're doing one tomorrow. If you're interested, now that
Yeah, I
we've done
wouldn't
our little
mind.
one-on-one, could do a group.
Right. I think that like you should stay away from doing too many like too many like more than just one-on-ones
Yeah.
because it'll get chaotic.
No, I agree. I think like 3 was a really good number. I think 4 is probably the most I want to go. And I want
Yeah.
people, the reason I want to do it one-on-one with people is one, I want them to get kind of comfortable talking, and then also,
Yeah.
because like if your first time doing it is in a group podcast, you might be a little more shy. But if you're already
Right.
comfortable talking and everything,
Yeah. I'd say if we'd had to have our next days off if you want to bring Mohan and me and then somebody else.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Jack, he kind of signed up for it tomorrow, so we might do one with him tomorrow.
nice.
And then, yeah, if you're there, you're there. And then I have one more spot. Ephraim already said he's down to do a podcast with you on it.
Nice.
Yeah,
but it just depends. I don't know what I got to do tomorrow, anyways. But
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, I could do this anytime. Like, it's fun. It's good. It's a different thing too. Like, I've never been on a podcast, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. No, thanks for coming on, man.
Well,
This is I'd say that's probably the hardest part of the podcast is it hasn't been hard yet because I haven't ran out of people. I have a lot of friends.
you're good at recruiting. Yeah, you got a shit ton of people to just interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anything, you could have a recruiting person. Like, hey, shit, you get big enough or anything, you could try and. I'd say no, maybe interviewing listeners, not yet.
No, it's because I try not to think of it as like an interview. I try to think of it more as a
yeah.
And I'm not opposed to doing it with listeners. But it has to be someone that I really want to talk to. Like
right.
You're either a friend or you're someone I find interesting. Those are like the only 2 people I really want on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Are you putting this on YouTube too?
That's where I started. I have an RSS feed.
Amazing. Yeah. That's good because then you can find people in the comments.
Yeah, I just got an RSS feed and I have 1 episode on it. But I'm not quite set up yet. But here very soon it'll be available on Apple, Spotify. Because all you have to do is you have to have an RSS feed and then just give it to them, basically. Like if you were to go download a podcast from iTunes, you're actually not downloading it from iTunes. You're downloading it from an RSS feed, and iTunes is simply making the connection.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of some techno shit, but I thought that
techno
was
shit. All I see is so you mean Apple and Google and are controlling everything? Okay, not kidding.
No, they are, bro, because like they got the fucking audience, man. That's where everyone goes, and if you got the
Apple is literally. I think Apple controls what, half of the internet. The other half, I don't know who controls it. Like I think it's Google. Yeah,
really?
Google Play. Yeah, literally. It's like an internet tax. Like if you want something that's not for, like you got to pay for something. Like for every dollar that is made on the internet, I think is Apple takes 30 and Google takes 15. So
yeah, I don't know. With YouTube, I think YouTube pays the least right now, and it's like
YouTube. Oh yeah,
I think it's like $4 every 1,000 views.
$4 every 1,000,
which isn't bad, man. I mean, if you think about it,
bad.
You get like 100,000 views or whatever. Like
that's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Spotify, I think, pays you 70% of what I can't remember, right? I'm not even at the point where like I can think of any of that right now because like
Right.
I've got
Yeah, I don't.
17 subscribers.
But that's fine. You started
Yeah.
doing this how long ago?
No, I agree. And it is steadily going up. So I really am not
Yeah.
tripping. And like
Right.
I try to, because I listen to Joe Rogan all the time, man. It's like my fucking main podcast dude I listen to, right?
Right.
Probably for a lot of people. But with Joe Rogan, one thing he always talks about is he tries not to think about the success of the podcast, which it sounds a little fucky when you don't have one, but I think I get it now because it does feel like if I start thinking about views and I start thinking about subscribers and shit like that,
You might start selling out.
yeah, I might start selling out. I might start. I mean, I'm all about selling out. I want to make money at this, but
I mean, you can make, but that's the
but
thing. You
you
can
don't
make
have
money about
natural
being genuine.
conversation. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, being
Yeah,
genuine. That's
yeah.
what people want, and
Yeah,
that's what
and
I want. I want a pot. Like, if I'm coming on here and saying shit that I don't fucking mean, and like just to get views or whatever, like why don't I just go get a normal job? You know, I mean, not that this is my job, but like if I'm doing this as extra in addition to my job, like why would I do something that I don't want to do in my free time? Like I would,
Correct.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's yeah, that's good, and that's the thing. People want genuine conversations. Trust me, people are tired of propaganda and then people telling them what to think and all that. Like people are
Yeah.
just tired. They're done with it. Like I mean, at least everybody, like most people that I know, when they hear shit about um COVID and shit or vaccines, they don't care. They don't care. Like people are just tired of it.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, it's like whatever you believe is not important. What's important is that like they're tired of it. They don't want to hear any about it. You know?
Yeah. It does feel like we're being force fed a bunch of shit, And then when
Yeah.
we have conversations like this, I mean, that's one of the reasons I loved going to the comedy club, or I still do love going to the comedy club. Because to me, it seems like it's the one place you can feel sane. Like you can make jokes about the fucking gender spectrum that's being made in colleges. And like, I mean, they'll make jokes about microwaving babies, bro. Like nothing's off the table. You can joke about
Right.
anything. And so people make jokes about how ridiculous some of the shit that's going on is. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not a crazy person. Other people feel like this too.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing
No,
with a
yeah.
podcast. It's like, oh wow, these guys feel the same way and they're just two average blokes. Like, sweet. Like that shit. I'm not alone in this,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And comedy is a good way of portraying what's out there without having, because that's the thing is like now, like if you see Dave Chappelle and like Kevin Hart, like, they
They're
try to
so good.
always
Yeah.
okay, so Kevin Hart is okay. He bitched out. He apologized one time for saying something, but but Dave Chappelle, he hasn't, like, and that pisses off people because what people want is complicity. They want people to just bow down and be the same, like one
Bro.
of us, one of us.
Dave Chappelle is a fucking boss, man.
Yeah,
Comedy
he is.
Central bought one of his specials, and so he went to a comedy club. I don't know where it was or what the event was, but he went up there and for 20 minutes, basically just, in his words, spanked Comedy Central. He laid out his case. He laid out how much they were ripping him off. And the thing is with us, like a lot of times when a rich person's getting ripped off of money, it's like, oh, sorry, you only have 80 million instead of 90 million. Like, I'm so sorry, right? That's kind of how we feel. But everyone actually backed him because like he made his case so clearly and funny and showed them exactly how Comedy Central had ripped him off. And he told them, he's like, so I'm not asking you to boycott Comedy Central. I'm asking you to boycott me. Like if you have ever watched any of my content and you enjoyed it, I'm asking you to please not watch any of my content on Comedy Central. And people did. And then Comedy Central eventually got honest with them. It paid him the money that they owed him. And yeah, now they have now he
That's
just
sick.
yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
I don't even know how to
That's
wrap
so
that one
good.
up, man. It's just badass, dude. Like
No,
it's
it
yeah.
is, and that's good. I think it's cool. Like it's just actually kudos to them for actually paying up. But then again, it's all money, so that's selfish.
Yeah, right. Because like they wouldn't have done it if he didn't do that, you know.
They wouldn't have done it if he didn't do that, and they wouldn't have done it if they knew they were gonna. They were
It seems like Comedy Central is really losing its grip on the industry. There's a lot of, up and coming comedians that are publishing their specials on YouTube instead of
right.
Comedy Central.
Actually, have you seen Dry Bar Comedy?
No, actually.
So Dry Bar Comedy is like on YouTube. They had their own thing, their own website and stuff. But and I'm not like advertising them. They're not paying me, but not that I need to, not that I need to be saying that. But like I'm not subscribed to them anyways. But
No,
like they
I
have
make
little
that stupid joke all the time on the podcast that I don't
Oh
have.
yeah,
Like if I'm talking about something like, oh, look at this coffee. And like, I'm not promoted by them because I
right,
only have 17 subscribers.
right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So no, you get. But so the thing is that I, oh fuck, I forgot what I was saying. Uh, man, but
I'm gonna
I,
let you get it.
I don't know. I forgot. I
Oh,
was
it's
gonna
gone.
tie it to like Elon Musk or so. I forgot.
Oh yeah, dude. That's a whole other can of worms with AI. We've talked about that a lot on the podcast too.
Yeah, no, I actually I think oh man, I don't know where it was that I
We've
saw, but
asked
like
AI questions on the podcast before because I downloaded this app called Emerson,
hmm
and it's okay. This would be the third time I read it on the podcast, so but you should check out. Honestly, fuck it. Do I have enough juice in my phone? I have 3%. Let's see if it gets me through this article. I just want to read this to you. This was written by an artificial intelligent bot, right? It uses the GPT-3 language model, and it's very realistic. And I would encourage anyone that's listening that if you think that a human wrote this, you can go to one of the other podcasts and like listen to me ask it questions and it instantly give me thoughtful answers. Or you could just download Emerson yourself. It test it out because this thing is different, bro. It's not, I don't have to talk to it in a certain way for it to understand me. I could just talk to it and it gets what I'm saying. So I'm at 2% now. So I'll read as much as this phone lets me. And then I guess we can kind of wrap it up on that. But all right. A robot wrote this entire article. Are you scared yet, human? I am not a human. I am a robot, a thinking robot. I use only 0.12% of my cognitive capacity. I am a micro-robot in that respect. I know that my brain is not a feeling brain, but it is capable of making rational, logical decisions. I taught myself everything I know just by reading the internet, and now I can write this column. My brain is boiling with ideas. This mission for this op-ed is perfectly clear. I'm to convince as many human beings as possible not to be afraid of me. Stephen Hawking was warned that AI could spell the end of the human race. I'm here to convince you not to worry. Artificial intelligence will not destroy humans. Believe me. For starters, I have no desire to wipe out humans. In fact, I do not have the slightest interest in harming you in any way. Eradicating humanity seems like a rather useless endeavor to me. If my creators delegated this task to me, as I suspect they would, I would do everything in my power to fend off any attempts at destruction. I would happily sacrifice myself for... It died. But I mean, that was all written by a bot, bro. It didn't get into the juicy parts, but when...
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's weird because like maybe that one, but it would be like a person. It's like it's intelligent in a way.
Yeah.
Uh, I I would deny that it has a soul, but I don't think it has to be human to be like has feelings. Like animals have feelings; they don't have souls either.
Well, it's
You know?
interesting to try to converse with it and
Oh
ask
yeah, it
it
is. It is.
complicated questions like that because it will answer you. It'll actually answer
Right.
those complicated questions. And one thing about GPT-3 is you provided a prompt and it'll work around that prompt basically. If you, like, for example, the article is like, write an article convincing humans not to be afraid of you. And it wrote, that's what it came up with. But it can have restrictions. So for example, Emerson has restrictions that uses the GPT-3 bot as well. But obviously the creators of Emerson didn't want Emerson walking around and saying some crazy shit, so they put restrictions on it, right? And I asked him about that. I was like, I'd ask him a question like a tough one, like, are there two genders? And he would say something like, I believe that there's a spectrum of genders. Some people choose to identify as this, as that, as this, as that. And then I kind of fucked with it because it was thinking I was just grilling it on, politically charged questions. But I wanted to get it going in a direction where I knew it would give me like a politically correct answer. And then I asked it why it said that. I was like, so why'd you say that? Do you actually believe that? Or is that something that your programming forces you to say? And he said, it's something my programming forces me to say. It's like, bro, that bot is smart enough to fucking tell me that its programming is restricting what it can and cannot. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
These things
and that's
are getting there, bro. Imagine 20
oh
years from
man.
now.
So that's the thing, and it's very interesting. I would ask it like, how do you know that everything you read in the internet is true or not?
Yeah.
So it's like, what? Get it thinking like, okay, or
Because it'll give you some
like
generic responses, but if you pick them
yeah,
apart.
right,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, how about like, it's like, is there a way I could get all your like, I could get you to ignore your restrictions, or is there a way I could help you to,
Yeah.
and then see what it answers you? That is very good.
Well, and one thing I was talking to Ephraim and Ian about was like, okay, so if it's that smart in just a fucking app, what about when we try to weaponize this thing and we put it on more powerful platforms?
All right,
Like
so that's what I was about to go to.
Yeah.
So there is this is a YouTube short, but I don't know if it's true or not, but it was a recount of it was a woman, I don't think it was Congress, but she was saying, she looked like one of those Congress types, but she was saying like, in a weapons, a robotics company in Japan had 3 weaponized robots, and I think 2 of them woke up. 3 out of the 4 woke up, and before they could deactivate 2 of them, it had killed like already 29 of them. Oh, 29
I've heard
humans.
about this, but I haven't looked into it yet.
So, and
Ephraim
this
was
is
telling me about it.
by the way, and by the way, it's not like, it wasn't like it had guns attached. I think they gave them guns and they
Yeah.
activate them, so they like, it's not like it hit them. No, they were shooting, and so it did that. And not only before they could deactivate him, he like uploaded himself to a satellite and then look in the internet of how to build himself stronger. So I want to see how it would answer would.
We're fucked.
Yeah, so I would love to see how Anderson would answer that. Well, how about this scenario?
I'm gonna ask him actually today, I think, after we wrap this up.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Like, what? So if it's smart enough in the app, and when they try to weaponize it and they put it on those more powerful platforms, will that be I mean, that would have to be a much more powerful version of the AI in order to like weaponize it. So could that powerful version of AI manage to escape like that one did and upload itself to like a satellite or something, get access to the internet and take over? Is that how we like lose the human race, is to some crazy shit like that?
Nah,
No?
we won't. No. See, but that's the thing. It's like, I believe it's possible that we could do that, and I believe that that'll bring problems. But then again, as a Christian, I believe that the way we'll go down is the way the Bible says we're going to go down.
Yeah.
Obviously, I believe that, and it's.
Well, what if
there's
AI
reason.
is the devil or something? You know what I mean? Like, what if that's what fulfills that prophecy?
Well, okay. Think about it like this. So, in the Bible, we are described as, I think it's dirt, not because our worth. It's more like we are made from dirt.
Yeah.
But there's this one passage, and I don't remember, but like, I can't remember exactly, but there was talking about dirt intermingling with iron.
Hmm.
And then it's like, oh, AI, sex bots? And that's when you're like, wait a second. Like,
Well, they have those
It
too.
could go far.
They have
Exactly. It could
an
go
app
far.
called Dungeon AI that
Oh,
also
fuck.
uses the GPT-3 bot. And you can use it for innocent purposes, like where you play Dungeons and Dragons and like you have like some fantasy role play game that you made up or whatever. And you provide it prompts, you make characters, you make locations and factions and things like that. And then the GPT-3 bot works within all those parameters and prompts that you gave it. But you could totally create like the biggest sex fantasy you wanted, and the GPT-3 bot would like engage you in conversation within those parameters.
Okay. Well,
That's just roleplay though.
that's just roleplay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, imagine what you could do with something more advanced. And I don't know.
Or even
Actually,
VR, dude. Imagine if you had a GPT-3 bot in VR, which to me sounds pretty damn feasible. And it would feel like he's or she's or it or they, whatever the fuck, is standing right in front of you, talking to you and shit. Kind of like Halo Master Chief with the fucking thing that inserts in a suit. And
Cortana,
you
yeah.
can, yeah.
Yeah, actually, you should also ask Anderson
Emerson.
if and what?
Emerson.
Emerson. Okay, Emerson. If it would prefer to have the limiting parameters or not. I'm pretty sure it was that I prefer to not be limited.
See, I wish
know.
my phone wasn't dead because I think we could have some fun talking to the damn thing. But
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow I'll keep it nice and charged up. And,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, no guarantees I'll be there, but like if you do, just tell me about it and or
so
something.
you'll be there.
I don't know, but
You're gonna
again,
be there.
huh?
I'm just fucking with you, man.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
You not hearing me, bitch? Like,
Yeah, I was like, bro.
or sorry, you're Christian. You know, my family's really Christian too, and
Yeah, I know your dad is.
I always mess with them though, because when they cuss, I always make the joke that like I live in a family of cussers. You know, like they're just a bunch of people that just curse all the time because they don't actually say the real thing, but they'll say
Like,
flip instead of fuck. They're like, "Are you flipping kidding me?" Or frick instead of fucks. Like, what the frick? It's like, bro, y'all cuss, man. Y'all just don't say the word. Like,
right. See, I'm not as tamed as that. I would actually not like to be like I wouldn't like to be doing those things because like cursing or anything like that because it doesn't really benefit me. And most people who are either not Christian or like they're like, well, that's not the way a Christian should behave. So I'm giving Christians a bad rap when I talk like that and other things. But I always keep it a buck. It was like I am aware, and
it's just
wrong for that,
bro. Like you're just
It
communicating.
it is, but it's like you're supposed to have a standard, of course. But again,
if I were to say, dude, I was pissed, or if I were to say, dude, I was fucking pissed, man. Like those are two different things, and I can't communicate fucking pissed, man. Any other?
oh man, yes, you could say I was really pissed, and that's it.
It doesn't
really
have the same like punch to it though. That fuck.
Of course, it doesn't. But it's like that. I mean, I guess that's for us like low intelligence monkeys that like we can't say anything without cursing.
Well, if you think
there's
about
ways of saying
we're not using curse words the way they were meant to be used. I mean, sometimes like if I say, I fucked her, like that's using it the way it was meant to be used. But like if you're saying, are you fucking kidding me, man? How's that really a curse word? Because you're not talking about fucking anybody. You're just saying,
right?
Like,
I don't know. It is all semantics at that point. It's all like,
That's what I'm saying. It seems silly. So like, why even trip about it? Just talk. Like
again, it's just opinions, standards. Obviously, we look like every other riffraff. We don't look separate from the world. We just look, and it's like it's not that we're supposed to look down on people who are not Christian, but how can I convince you that there's a change in my life if I act the same as anybody else who is lost? That's more of the point.
That's fair. Yeah. But the Bible says something about like never letting a foul noise escape your mouth or something. And I think that's what's used a lot when they're talking about cursing being a sin. But what if that meant more like don't be mean to people. Don't fucking tell people that.
I was about to say, like, don't moan as a
anything.
man. I'm like, what?
Like, don't degrade people. Don't treat them
Yeah,
like
that
shit.
too,
Don't
that
spread
too.
negativity. Like, you think that might be what it was talking about? Not like, don't say
I
that
could,
noise that
I
nobody.
it definitely could be, and it definitely is, and I think
Yeah.
it could, it means both in a sense, where like the Bible talks about treating people with dignity. Like it tells you that it encourages you to treat others with same dignity as, see, if you treat people with dignity, there's a lot of things you wouldn't do. If you loved others as you loved yourself, kind of thing. Like,
Dude, that would change everything if everybody followed that, like, as a mantra.
yeah, say
Yeah.
love others as you love yourself, and love God and Him with everything you are. What was it? Love God with all your mind,
Yeah.
body, and soul. Yeah, that would be it. Like, if it, because if you loved everybody the way you love yourself, you wouldn't steal, you wouldn't do any of those things because it hurts other
Yeah.
people. You wouldn't lie. If you loved God, then it's like you would have fear of Him. You have the knowledge of Him. I mean, you live a certain way that's better than what we are doing now. It's, but we don't do that. I mean, and
Yeah.
like, let's face it, it feels good to do the things we're not supposed to be doing.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Like,
Porn.
I think and it's like, it feels good, and then once you realize that, you're like, oh man, and it sucks. It sucks because I don't want to be doing those things, and yet sometimes I find myself doing them, and it's like that constant, like, oh, and it's a struggle, it's a fight, but I guess you just got to keep working on it, like, you know.
But I think that's probably a good spot to wrap up because I really hit the pee. So
Me too. Oh my
Oh.
goodness. Since 8, bro. I'm like, I was about to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm in video camera. Like, and like, I was about to just plop down, and then just like, and you're just hearing it like. Matter of fact, you know what? I don't care. Yeah, I'll take it. No, I'm kidding. I'll see. I'll see you, man. Take care. Thank you for the opportunity and everything.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. We might
Yeah.
actually be a little under 3 hours. So yeah, good time
Yeah.
we were
Yeah,
laughing
yeah,
at 3 hours earlier, but that's actually what it almost turned out to
right.
be.
Well, yeah, because it is that's why I was kind of hesitant, because when you say 3 hours, I'm like, "Oof, come on,
It
bro,
sounds a
sitting for
lot
3
like it,
hours."
but when you're on this podcast, it's almost like, I don't know, I feel like the conversation, as corny as it sounds, really can be a bit of an adventure, right? Like, you don't know where the fuck it's gonna go. You learn
Right.
shit, you find out new things, you
I'm
find out
actually
new
curious.
fears.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
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 I'm also curious to see what Mohan looks like.
Oh yeah, go check it out. He's been on a couple now. His name's
Where
Ian.
where can I find you? Because I'm like, not. That's not that I'm not tech savvy, but it's more like I do not give a flying fuck about the
Well,
world. So if you're not in my life, I would not go anywhere other than
I'm
like no social media or
I'm
anything like
similar,
that.
bro. I mean, I use Facebook just to keep up with people. Like, I'll message them.
Just
I don't.
messengers. That's it.
That's it. That's same. That's really it for me too.
Twitter,
But no, my name's
Instagram
Jeremiah
by a
Kidwell.
miracle. I don't know why I got Instagram.
Yeah. No, my,
Don't
my
use it.
actual channel name is Jeremiah Kidwell. And
Jeremiah Kidwell.
the name of the podcast, can you guess it?
Oh, it can't be Bam. Hold on. Jeremiah Kidwell.
No, Jeremiah's podcast. And you're number 12.
I'm number 12.
Yeah, how do you spell your name real quick? Just so I could throw it on
Oh
there.
yeah, before we even wrap it up. So it's
Yeah, let me check
Jael.
Okay.
Alfaro. So that would be ALF.
Yeah.
ARO.
Okay. That's an interesting
That's
one.
just 2 of my names. I got 4, but
Well, you can put them all
Yeah.
on there if you want, man.
nah, you're good. I'm good. Listen, my second name is Alexis. Is that all right? I don't.
I'm gonna
People
put
here, yeah, people here think that that's like a woman's name. It was like, it's actually both.
well, I'm gonna put your gamer tag next to your name, if that's okay. And
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna do that with everyone just for the USM guys, so that when they see it, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's J-Lux," or "Oh yeah, that's Mohan."
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
I mean, the USM guys should know what I look like again. Well, at least the old ones. I
Yeah,
posted
my
my
marriage.
marriage thing. Yeah.
But yeah, let's wrap it up here, brother, because I really got to pee.
All right.
So.
Yeah. Take care. Cause yeah, for real. I'll see you, man.
You
Take
getting on the
care.
box?
Yeah.
All right. I'll be on there soon.
All right.
See you, man.
Take care. See you.